12 rounds, ding ding. Sick and tired of the whole damn thing, yeah. Stick a move in the ring. You can hit me with the words you fling. You're never gonna keep me down. You're never gonna keep me down. No, no, no. You're never gonna keep me down. You're never gonna keep me down. No, no, no. Be lucky if I stick around. Baby, foolish, but I ain't a clown. No, no, no. You're never gonna keep me down. You're never gonna keep me down. No, 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 no. Got the belt like a king. Heavyweight champion of the whole damn thing, yo. Full of gas, full of spin. Jekyll and Hyde, you're the evil twin. You're never gonna keep me down. You're never gonna keep me down. No, no, no. You're never gonna keep me down. You're never gonna keep me down. No, you're never gonna. You're never gonna keep me down. You're never gonna keep me down. No, no, no. You're never gonna keep me down. You're never gonna keep me down. No, no, no. Be lucky if I stick around. Baby, foolish, but I ain't a clown. No, no, no. You're never gonna keep me down. You're never gonna keep me down. No, 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 no. Down, down, down. Down, down, down. Down, down, down. Down, down, down. You're never gonna keep me down. You're never gonna keep me down. No, no, no. You're never gonna keep me down. You're never gonna keep me down. No, no, no. Be lucky if I stick around. Baby, foolish, but I ain't a clown. No, no, no. You're never gonna keep me down. You're never gonna
Welcome in everyone to finals day here at the Vissla Central Coast Pro on a beautiful Saturday morning. We are in a semi-final number one of the men's, the final event of the New South Wales Pro Surf Series, and it is game on. We're in the box here with Steve Robinson. Good morning, Robbo. Fantastic day. We've still got this sort of small 1 to 2 feet swell pumping in, and it is game on for both men and women's.
Yep, and it's going to be a fantastic day. We will crown champions, and as we saw yesterday morning, this bank handles the small swell. We've got clean wave face conditions. It's going to be on. Kalani Ball, Cooper Davies, and we're away. Adam, talk us through this one.
Here we go, surf up and right and just attack in. And again, as we said yesterday, I felt like the morning session, Robbo, we sort of had really nice, clean conditions. Even though it's dropped off, I feel like it's going to be very similar to yesterday. So there was supposed to be just a little bit of an increase overnight by 0.2 of a metre. But yeah, I feel like these surfers are going to really love these little right-hand peaks. And yeah, it's going to be a great way to finish off because there is a lot riding on today's results when it comes to men and women's. And we see the surfer up and riding in the glitter. I think that is
Cooper.
Maybe Cooper Davies. And we're talking about Cooper yesterday where he sits in the rotation on the rankings, and this is a really important event because a win here would sort of catapult him up towards, you know, qualification. Of course, only the 7 men and 4 women go through, so it is cutthroat when it comes to qualification for the challenger. So it would be game on. These guys would have been really focused this morning, went for a free surf nice and early and try to tap into the energy of the ocean.
That's for sure. Given the quality of the field, the fact that there's only going to be 7 men and 4 women, it's a brutal series. They've really got to be consistent, and they've got to fight their way through all their heats, and it's getting to the pointy end. And yeah, such an important event. Really important for these guys. Take a win here and you're really going to position yourself well. There's Kalani Ball. He's been a standout all event. Big waves, small waves. He's got all the skills.
Yeah, I love the way he carried that speed through that first couple of turns. And like you said, his body extensions in small waves transfer over when it gets a little bit bigger. And yeah, he's definitely been one of the standouts. So this is a cracker way to start finals day. But yeah, Kalani Ball, going to be hard to stop. But I feel like Cooper Davies has sort of slowly but surely built that repertoire when it came to, you know, the consistency of his performances on the QS. And I feel like he's one of these young guys from the sunny coast who's ready to sort of jump out of the pack and make a charge and maybe get himself onto the challenger.
From the sunny coast, they would have a few hundred days of the year looking exactly like this. So Cooper will be right at home out in these waves. He'll know what to do. Kalani Ball, he's a very accomplished competitor. So this is going to be a great semi-final.
He's a very established and calculated athlete, Kalani Ball. I've always loved the way. I felt like even as a junior, he had a very mature approach to his surfing. As we see, it's like someone having a crack at this wave. But yeah, what I talked about the sunny coast and the amount of quality surfers they're starting to bring through the ranks, both in men's and women's, ultra impressive. We spoke yesterday with Britt about it, where back in the day you had the Julians and the Isabella Nichols and the Dimity Stalls and stuff like that. There was a lot of good talent, but I feel like now both the men and women, they're just bringing it to it.
They're coming from everywhere.
Alistair Originato, I mean, he's a sunny coast athlete, and he's in the semi-finals as well. So they're starting to make waves, this next generation.
That's for sure. And like you said, Julian Wilson and Isabel Nichols, they dominated the Sunshine Coast surfers onto the big stage of the CT. But look out for many surfers emerging from that region in the coming years, and we're seeing them here.
Yeah. Definitely, and a couple of waves are in. 5.50 for that 2-turn combination, probably due to the sort of the wave quality out there at the moment. Both these guys will probably be looking to offload these scores towards the end of the heat. So 5.50 for Red and a 4.33. And I felt like definitely Kalani had the jump in that scenario just by how clean and vertical those couple of turns were. I felt like Cooper's wave was just a little bit fatter, and as we see the New South Wales government
That first
replay.
turn was crisp, wasn't it? It was just beautiful. Two powerful, well-executed turns. The wave didn't give him much more opportunity. Still, he scores a 5.5. Very dangerous surfer, Kalani Ball. Focused on the win. He mentioned
100%.
it yesterday. He wants to win this one. He wants to win Newcastle. That's his focus. He wants to be back on the Challenger Series where he belongs. And once he gets there, he wants to belong on the CT.
Here we go, surf up and riding once more. And I feel like the scores are going to be elevated, Robbo, if you can find one of these waves that sort of cup onto the bank instead of, you know, sort of with a bit more water on it. Like yesterday, we definitely saw a separation in score potential when it was a little bit more wedgy on the bank. And I feel like that indication was that first series of rides, because Kalani Boy, you can see him having to drop out of the sky a little bit on his first wave. This one, very similar to sort of Cooper's wave, but it was a little bit fatter on the bank. So he had to do a little bit more work, but the judges really want to identify these surfers going top to bottom and really executing some solid turns.
And they'll do that if they get the wave. So that one didn't line up for Kalani. It'll be a second score. I don't think it'll be as good as his first wave for all the reasons you just mentioned, Adam. I think the wave just didn't stand up for him. 2.5, there you go. And look at this set coming. Cooper Davies will have a good look at this one.
Still quite a bit of motion in the ocean, which is really good to see. So the energy of the ocean, as I said, I felt like it was going to sort of jack up overnight. Not by a lot. And this afternoon, we've sort of picked the eyes out of all the different days on the calendar, because we'll be done by, you know, late morning, and this afternoon there's supposed to be a bit of a change, and that's going to make the wave faces a little bit more tricky to ride. So the contest directors and everyone involved in this event, the Vissla Central Coast Pro, have done a wonderful job sort of identifying exactly the best window to put these athletes in the water, and I feel like the athletes have really performed.
And Adam, myself and many people in New South Wales are looking forward to that cool change. We want the cool wind to come in. It's been an absolute heat wave. Yep. Exhausting.
And very, you know, it's very unique for this time of year to have such, you know, an extensive heat pattern.
It's La Nina signing off.
It's saying goodbye.
Yeah, take this and I'm out of here. But it has been a heat wave. And people have been flocking to the beaches, loving to get into the water. And these New South Wales beaches right up and down the coast. This, like you said, this is the final event of the Vissla New South Wales Pro Surf Series, and it's been amazing. We've gone to all these incredible locations: Boomerang Beach, Port Stephens, Maroubra, and back to this beautiful location of Oka Beach, showcasing the great beaches in New South Wales. We see all the professional lifeguards like Michael Crisp keeping everyone safe in the water. We've got the Surfing New South Wales, what is it, Safe Surfer Series or Rescue Series. It's incredible what's going on.
Yeah,
the beach rescue lifestyle, and everyone's safe, everyone's looking after one another, and it's just a great state with some of the best coastline in the world.
What I've loved about the series, Robbo, has been the intensity and the fact that no one has dominated.
No.
Really, when you think about it, when you think about Maroubra, you think about Port Stephens, you think about the Tweed Coast Pro, you think about all the events that we've had, you know. It's been even Boomerang, you know, the fact that they elevated that to a 3,000 this year. I feel like the grounding, no one has really just gone, you know what, bang, I'm going to dominate. Such is the fierce competitive nature of this series, and that's what's been great about it, to watch the intensity levels rise as we've gone along, and now there's so much riding on this result because there's 3,000 points up for grabs. Here we go. Here we go, Cooper up and riding. Just trying to sort of set himself up for this inside corner. Really nice extension through the body and kicks out, but only one turn. So that's going to be a backup. It's definitely not going to be enough, I don't think, to take the lead at this stage.
No, one nice turn in there, but they're looking for the waves that link up and give them a few opportunities. Let's have a look at it. It looked like it could have been a good wave. It gets the double up here, and this is where he gets his strong in-the-pocket turn, so we know what he's thinking. But the potential ran out on that one, so yeah, probably, well, yeah.
Oh, it could be a 3.68 when you consider what Kalani Ball got for a 5.5.
Yeah, I know.
It'll be up to the judges, but I actually feel like both those scores by the time
wipe them out.
They're going to be gone.
3-point ride, so not enough, but
Nice start.
Cooper's not worried. He wants to get rid of both those scores and find the good wave.
Yeah, so let's talk about, the intensity of the competition. And we saw it yesterday with someone like Solly Bailey, who traditionally does not really get that rattle. But you could see how much yesterday's loss meant to him. He was so, he was just so disappointed. And that's what it means. He's trying to get him. He's one of these guys who've had championship tour, experience. He's looking to get back onto the big stage, and he knew a good result here would elevate his position. But right now, you got guys just fighting tooth and nail for 7 positions plus a wild card.
Yeah, Solly's probably got to win Newcastle.
Yep. You'd have to have a massive result.
Yeah, but let's face it, he's every chance of winning an event like that.
100%. How good is he?
As are about 15 others. But, it's going to be an incredible finish to the series. Here we go. Kalani Ball is getting the double up here. It's going to be interesting. Nice turn in the pocket. Another one. Beautiful, smooth cut back. He's a really stylish surfer, Kalani Ball. He's got power. He's got style. He can go to the air when he needs to. I think that's going to be the best wave of the heat, Adam. There was some really crisp, well put together turns there.
And here we go. Looks like Cooper Davies also having a look at this wave. He rolls into it, just patiently waiting for it to line up on this bank. Carves away, gets into the power source. Again, climbs the section, losing no momentum, which is pretty impressive. There was a bit of bump and froth on the face of that wave. And yeah, what you said about Kalani, I felt like he really got right into that power source, and that gave him the opportunity to really attack.
So,
big glare out there this morning.
It is. Interesting to see what these scores come in as. Kalani Ball, rapid fire surfing. Look at that, beautiful. So this is his first ride in this series.
That was Cooper, and this was Kalani here. So we've got it the wrong way around, but it is quite glary out there in the morning this morning. And
I think Kalani's racked off 2 waves.
Yeah, exactly. So these heats are 30 minutes, the semi-finals of the men's. There is, as I said, 3,000 points up for grabs. Right now, Cooper Davies locked in a 4.9 and a 4.33. Kalani looking to offload that 2.5 and get a 3.73 if he's going to put himself in a better position. Right now, it is priority over to Cooper Davies. Second priority with Kalani Ball. There's 17 minutes to go. And like you said, for someone like Cooper Davies, a win here, when it comes to his ratings, will elevate him right up towards, that top 10. And that's where you want to be when you're going into that final event. And it's up. And the great intriguing thing about the final event, traditionally you'll see some really high performers actually go to that event based on the history of the event. And they really involve themselves in the event, as we see a surfer up and riding. Looks like the surfer in red, but yeah, so there's a lot of elements that go into it. And right now we have Cooper Davies sitting in 17th position and Kalani Ball in 31st position. He's only had two results, so these next 2 events are going to apply for him. And as I said, with a young guy like Cooper just trying to make his way, a win here would definitely push him up towards qualification. But again, it's going to really come down to those big points at Newcastle as well. So I suggest everyone buckle themselves up for the next week, because it is going to be such a great way to finish this series in Australia. Well done to Andrew Stark and all his team putting this series together and offering plenty of opportunity. And the other thing too, which is it's co-sanctioned, so there's a lot riding on the Asian surfers as well. And in the women's, we have 2 Japanese women in the semi-finals, so there's a lot to be sort of played out when it comes to the actual transition onto the ratings.
And we're suffering on the glare factor, so I may have called Kalani into one of those waves, and it was actually Cooper. But the situation, Cooper Davies has a 4.9, a 4.33. Kalani Ball has a 5.5 and a 3.6. So that's the situation. Just under the halfway mark of this heat. And it's not a heat, it's a
Here we
semi-final,
go,
so
Cooper.
serious stuff.
Up and right in. Trying to negotiate that little froth and bubble into it now. You can see how difficult that wave was to ride, Robbo. Just those little, double ups and those little different sections didn't allow him to really open up. But right now he's in the lead, and it is Kalani Bohr needing a 3.73, and we are down to 15 minutes to go. So 30-minute heat allows these surfers to sort of be a little bit more relaxed in their demeanour when it comes to the time, but also the intensity is definitely going to be there towards the back end, because we are looking to try to find our first finalists. Has a good ring to it.
I don't think either of those waves will change the situation. There's a wild card factor that comes into Newcastle.
How do they play that out with WSL?
There's a different wild card factor that I'm going to throw at you.
Okay.
Surfers like Ryan Callahan will probably enter the event.
100%. That's what I said. And Morgan Siblick. And
yeah, that's going to throw an absolute joker into the field.
I mean, even in the women's in the past, I've seen Steph,
Yes.
Sally, when they're at the top of the ratings, will just come
Such a
down.
prestigious event. They go,
the history of it.
Yeah, I want to go. I want to go there and surf that event. So there's potentially CT surfers entering into this final showdown, which is going to make it amazing.
And that's what makes it more difficult, because it adds to the pressure, because you see those big names, and eventually, for the most part, you're going to have to bring your game and take it to some of the best servers in the world. And traditionally, wow, it's just been an event that has held so much prestige within the surfing ranks, not only in Australia but around the world.
And I used to go there year in, year out, Adam, and I miss the place. It's a beautiful location, beautiful people, great work crew. You build lifelong friends.
Yep.
In all these great areas where some of these events that have become institutions in Australian surfing.
And talking about great
running.
areas, what about this place? Avoca Beach is
amazing.
such magical. Here we go. It looks like the surfer in red, just extending. Love how much power he put through that rail there as he tries to offload that 3.60. He's got a nice section of work with, and I reckon, Robbo, he's about to do that, because that was a really well-read wave when it came to what sections he could attack.
Yep, I liked it. I think it's the best wave of the heat, but I'm not sure. It was...
Here we go. Take us through this. Look at this little wedge.
Beautiful bottom turn into a sharp cutback. Full completion on these manoeuvres that he's executing. Gets the link up onto the inside. Wants to have a good finish. Nails it not once, but twice. Kept busy the whole way. Impressive surfing. A lot of energy to extract that many good, clean manoeuvres out of that ride. Let's see what the judges think.
Yeah, I think that's the key word. The energy and just how spicy he looked on that wave was ultra impressive. Here we go. It looks like surf up and right in Cooper. He's got a nice section. Bangs away on that first manoeuvre, but that wave just ran off to the north a little bit too quick for his liking. But yeah, I feel like that energy and that sort of fierce rail work was what's going to define that ride for Kalani.
Yes.
And let's see what the judges think. We are down to 11 to go. Massive shout out to all our partners in this event. We have Vissla, of course. This is the final event of the New South Wales Pro Surf Series, as we see Kalani Bohr just continuing to find his rhythm out there. Just really great engagement of the rail. And of course, Mad Next, the presenting partner. Without all our different partnerships, these events wouldn't go ahead. And I love the way Kalani Bohr just finished off. Just
wow.
Put an exclamation mark on that ride for sure. So he's starting to find his groove, his rhythm here at the Vissla Central Coast Pro. QS 3000, plenty on for grabs, big money, and we have a New South Wales Government wave replay. This is Cooper's one turn, nice slam under the lip, but I feel like the read, the rhythm, and just the precise nature of where he put his turns into this wave is going to create a nice score. Look at that, just really great extension, hold him nice and patient through the rail, and he got a little bonus section, Robbo, on the inside as well.
Nah, smart surfing, and yeah.
Little right rip bowl, just offering up plenty of waves. And I'm pretty sure low tide today is probably going to be around midday, if I remember correctly. But yeah, I feel like we're going to get the best of the conditions today as we run through the semi-finals of the men's and the women's. Here we go. Cooper up and riding, a little bit upright on that first turn, trying to get himself across the bank, but really nice extension again through the body. And that's what I love, just how clean those transitions are from both surfers.
Well, I think they've been busy the last 5 minutes. I think there's still a few scores to come in, and we'll get the situation, but they've been really busy on this peak. They're getting into rhythm. We're under 10 minutes. It's close regardless, so...
I don't feel anyone's really exploded with that
no
8.
one's busted out.
Yeah, and the great thing, Robbo, is for the judges too, they have that ability to have the action replays, to look at everything, and sort of they can cross-check from one wave to the other. So that's why sometimes it takes a little bit longer for these scores to come in, because they're analysing every kind of turn and where the body position is, just to make sure they get it right.
And a 6.5 for Kalani Ball. We recall that wave. He really milked it, took it all the way through to the inside beach break, and Kalani Ball's opening up a bit of a lead here. Cooper Davies chasing a 7.1.
Feel like slowly but surely, every time he rides a wave, he's sort of increasing the space between himself and Cooper. But I feel like we're still waiting on a couple of scores to be locked in. And yeah, Mad Mex is a proud partner with Surfing New South Wales across the Pro Surf Series, and they really share the stoke when it comes to their passion for healthy Mexican food. As we look at a couple of replays, so it's been rapid fire. This first semi, there's certainly not going to be a...
Started off slow, but it's non-stop action now into the glare, but we're working out who's who, and it's Kalani Ball who has the lead, a 6.5 and a 5.5. Cooper Davies looking for a 7.1. That's certainly well within his reach. 7.5 minutes remaining.
We can hear the announcers on the beach sort of giving information to the surfers in the lineup. Of course, Kalani Ball from Stanwell Park in New South Wales. In the Challenger last year, he had a really tough start, as we see a really nice air. Will that be incomplete?
I think it's incomplete.
Yeah, so Kalani had a really tough start on the Challenger last year, but as he sort of found his groove, found his rhythm, he had some solid results towards the back end of the year. He had a 5th place in Brazil, in Saquarema, and then backed it up with a 7th, and only went out to John Florence, I'm pretty sure, at Haleiwa. So I felt like towards the back, he established, you know, a very more comfortable position on the Challenger. So that's why he's so intent out there, Robbo.
He knows he belongs at that elite end. So, yeah.
Once you're having results like that, you know you're in the mix.
Absolutely.
We go to the Mad Max replay, and look at these waves. Up and riding. Pretty sure that is Cooper Davies trying to negotiate that inside bowl. Really nice speed down the line. Very smooth, stylish surfer. And then we had Kalani Ball as well. He is leading the heat at this stage. And it is a really tight battle because there's been no separation when it comes to that score from the good to the excellent range. And I think that's based more on the quality of the wave.
Yeah. But right now, Kalani Ball, 2 top scoring rides of the heat, 6.5, 5.5, has himself in a really good position with 5.5 minutes remaining. Cooper Davies, pressure's on him, has to deliver a 7.1. He knows what he has to do, and he can do it.
Definitely, and we spoke about, you know, the way these athletes actually transition into their training and the different facilities now with the Olympics, Robbo, around the world to allow them to develop their, you know, their power. And I feel like the power game in surfing has gone to the next level in the last 12 months. You only have to just look at people like Kalani. Look at the way he just manhandles every section. And we've been lucky enough to sort of hang out at the HPC Centre. And let me tell you, the way they train these days compared to even 10 years ago, it's incredible.
Yep. They are super fit, super strong, and they've just got to keep training and developing their body and getting the best out of their surfing. And in these small waves, to do the sort of manoeuvres they're doing out there, it takes a lot of strength.
Yep.
It takes an enormous amount of strength because the wave is not giving the energy back. It's the surfer on the wave that's manipulating that board and making it work powerfully through these sections. So, yeah, you think big wave surfing takes a lot of strength and fitness. Elite small wave surfing takes an enormous amount of strength and fitness.
Because you have to create.
You have to create the power.
Yeah, and the speed too.
And the speed, yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible to watch these guys just absolutely blow up on these waves. And the thing that you could really visually see in that replay, Robbo, was the amount of speed they carried. And here we go. Cooper Davies, I do believe, just got this wave. So he's looking for a score. He's got a nice little wedge to work with. He gets into the pocket. But again, a little bit disconnected with the timing of that. But yeah, what impresses me is how much speed they carry.
Oh, absolutely.
3.5 to go. Semi-final number 1.
Sometimes it's natural ability, but at this end of the scale, you can have all the natural ability in the world. You still need elite fitness and strength to be able to do what they're doing.
Yep. And you need to be able to make those subtle adjustments, whether it's 1 foot or 5 foot.
Yep.
You've got to be able to bring the same kind of power game to the table in all kind of conditions. Here we go. It looks like someone looking. I could hear the boys on the beach whistling out, so they probably saw that set, but that really didn't eventuate. But yeah, I've been impressed by both the men and women's ability to just really elevate their levels of surfing. And to be honest, the Japanese women have been ultra impressive on the backhand, and they're going to be dangerous. They're going to be coming up shortly
super
too.
dangerous.
So
yep.
the advancements in the way they have gone about creating athletes as well, ultra impressive. But right now, it is Kalani ball, New South Wales taking on Cooper Davies, and there is still 2.5 to go, and Cooper is in a situation where he needs a 7.10. Robbo, that would have to be the best wave of the heat.
It would, and he's only got 2 minutes to do it, and it would be, at this stage, under priority, which is not such a bad thing with so many peaks coming through, but Kalani Ball holds all the aces at the moment, the 2 top scoring rides and priority.
There we go,
look at this.
Surfer in red, utilising priority, up and right in. Just falls away a little bit on that first manoeuvre, coming down the line and flying out. Now, was that more of a strategy of the block on Cooper Davies not to allow in the space and the opportunity, or was that more of a, I'm trying to advance my 5.50?
I think both, because I don't think Kalani would have taken it unless he thought, yeah, there's a lot of potential in this wave. And the wave didn't line up for him. But yeah, I think he was probably thinking both. And Cooper Davies now has a bit of a window, but that wave not really delivering for him either. So a minute to go, priority back to Kalani Ball. Those 2 waves will not play a part in the scoreline. And Cooper Davies still chasing a 7.1. 1 minute, Mad Max, final minute, Adam.
Yeah, and will there be another opportunity for the surfer from Noosa Heads Board Riders to get himself back in the game? He needs a 7.10, so he has to have the best wave of the heat. He's going to have to really go to town on his next opportunity, but time is the enemy. We're down to under a minute to go, and you can just see the guys in the lineup right now. Kalani Ball has priority, so he's probably going to get a little bit more tighter and closer to his opponent to make sure he puts a bit of pressure on him and lets him be aware that he's right there and he'll take whatever wave he wants.
Ocean swimmers out the back. I know you're a fanatical swimmer, Adam. Would you do these ocean swims, or do you prefer to stick to the pool?
No, pool only.
I'm the same. I think most surfers prefer the pool for swimming.
Yeah,
There's some sort of secondary knowledge there that I'll stick to the pool. Look at this.
Look at this. Cooper on his backhand. How good and sharp is his attack?
7.1?
No.
Okay.
I'm not a judge, but I don't know what he did at the start of that wave unless we've missed something. But based on the body language, and you can sort of always get a feel from the
Yeah, you
surfers
do.
where
They
they're
know.
at. They know.
Yeah.
But it's been a great, if he has bowed out, it's been an amazing performance from Cooper Davies into the semi-finals. Kalani Ball, I'm pretty sure he's advancing on through. We'll be throwing a break. Be back very shortly.
This is the motivation.
It's in all of us. That craving to feel new again. To see something new that will blow our minds. Or meet someone new who will change it. New South Wales. A place to feel free. To feel alive. And most of all, to feel new again.
And welcome back, everyone. Semi-final number 2 is underway at the Vissla Central Coast Pro QS 3000 event. We are going live across the world on many different platforms, 7+, KO Sports, WSL, MySurf TV, and it is a great morning to be alive. And Brett Nicol, welcome in. We've got waves, and this is going to be an absolute doozy, this matchup. We have Alistair Reginato taking on the local boy, Joel Vaughan. Good morning, Brett.
Good morning, Dimmy. Plenty of action here at Avoca this morning for finals day of the event. How exciting.
Oh, it's great. And I feel like we've really picked the eyes out of the swell in the period that we've had at Avoca, one of the most beautiful locations, the landscape, the local community get behind this event. And we're into the semi-final number 2, and there's a lot riding on this. We have a surfer out there in the blue. He's right on the cusp of qualification for the Challenger Series. And these two would have spent a lot of time going up against each other in their careers. Your thoughts?
This is a huge matchup between these two surfers. You just mentioned Alistair Reginato in the blue, currently sitting in 7th place on the rankings at the moment, so right on that qualification bubble. But if you look at where Joel Vaughan's sitting, this is an important result for him. He's currently in 24th on that QS Series rankings. So this is going to be a huge matchup between these two competitors. Looking to grab a spot in the main final here at the Vissla Central Coast Pro QS 3000. Here we go, Joel Vaughan, the man from the Central Coast. Doesn't quite get it up there. But he's got plenty of time to paddle out and reset. These are, of course, 30-minute heats. 2-person heats, 50-50 progression, so one will move on through.
Yep, and you could see Vaughany then, he was eyeing off that, that section to do an air. And I feel like these rights at the moment aren't really allowing a functional positioning for the surfers to do those airs, because there's so much wobble and there's so much sort of double ups on the face of the wave. It's not clean. So trying to eye off a section to really hit cleanly and make that rotation, and what the judges love to see if you're going to do an air, they want to see you land in the flats. So it's going to be interesting to see if anyone's going to take to the air, or are they going to be a little bit like Kalani Ball was in that last heat, that really engage in the rail and just using that power and flow in his surfing to get on through. It was a solid performance. And Cooper Davies, he'll be disappointed with a semi-final finish. But Britt, I feel like that guy's starting to make waves, and he's starting to build a solid career.
He certainly is, and we spoke of it yesterday, you know, that contingency that is appearing from the Sunshine Coast. Not only is there one or two just giving it a good attack, but there's a whole heap of them at the moment coming on through and just really supporting each other on the whole series as well.
Yeah,
as we have Alistair in this heat. He's from the Sunny Coast. He's part of that crew.
North Shore board riders, I'm sure they're all online. And he really was that one surfer a couple of years ago with the ABB, with the Australian Board Riders Battle, who sort of exploded on our screen. Not a lot of people had heard about Reggie prior to that event, and he was a standout in that event, and I feel like he would have taken a lot of confidence out of that. He was only a young guy, and it's taken him a little bit of time to re-establish that kind of prowess in the formula of the QS, but he's certainly now making waves. And for a guy who's pretty big, he's got so much game in small waves, so it's ultra impressive to watch.
They need to have that versatility in all types of conditions, because they have to qualify through this regional series to get onto that Challenger Series, where they then start to surf, I feel like, you know, those world-class waves, high quality surfing as well. But the matchups that we have witnessed throughout this event, it's a QS 3000, but the names that have been in the draw are just absolutely massive. And well, talking of names in the draw, we do have the defending champ who's just now moved into the final of the men's event, Kalani Ball. It's Britt Nicol and Adam Hennessy. How are you feeling moving into the final?
Yeah, super stoked. Super tricky out there just then. So yeah, stoked to just get that one done and make it to the final. That was the goal, to get to the final and hopefully win it. So yeah, going this far, so hopefully can go all the way now.
Can you talk us through strategy this morning? I know that you were first heat in the water. Sometimes that can be a little bit of a guinea pig heat, and conditions have changed overnight. Can you talk us through your strategy here this morning at Avoca?
Yeah, I didn't really have too much of a strategy. I kind of just, there's a lot of waves, so I felt like you just had to kind of get busy, I guess. And if there was like a bit of size to the wave, then yeah, if you could get some opportunity on a bigger one with a bit of wall, then just try and hunt those. But yeah, I just tried to roll the dice a bunch, and yeah, it kind of worked out for me then. I ended up getting a couple scores that were okay, and yeah, I felt like you kind of just had to get a bit lucky in that one and yeah, roll the dice.
Yeah, I felt like you had to sort of be on a lot of waves to identify the good ones, because there was so much sort of movement on the face of the waves too, and you look pretty comfortable out there, but you've seen it find your rhythm. The more waves you took, the more rhythm you had. So you must have felt pretty good towards the back end, because he needed a 7.10. Even though Coops can get that in his sleep, in those kind of conditions, it becomes a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, I felt really good. I felt like I surfed a couple of my waves pretty well. Yeah, I just kind of did what I could on my waves, and yeah, Coops is super deadly out here and anywhere, and yeah. So, but I knew a 70 out there was going to be really hard. I got my 6.5 was like 3 turns, and that's pretty tricky to find out there. So he really had to probably get a really good wave or do a big air. So yeah, just stoked to make that one.
Well, mate, you're into the final. We wish you all the best. Go back, relax, refuel. Get a bit of hot water on that sea lice, and yeah, mate, we wish you all the best. Fantastic surfing in the semi-finals, and yeah, go get them.
Yeah, thanks guys, appreciate it.
The Kalani there, yeah, as he said, it was really hard. Like, you sort of had to continually take waves and just hope that they opened up, and that was the whole thing. And when he sort of got himself in a position, he kept building house. He would have a 6 and have 5.5, and the more waves that were ridden, the tougher it got for Cooper Davies, because by the end of that heat, he needed a 7. And like we said, 7s are pretty hard to get out there at the moment.
For sure, Damien. You know, you can see on screen as we're watching how tricky it is here this morning. I feel like with the changing conditions overnight, that bank isn't as distinguished. So I feel like surfers are having to work a little harder to find their positioning on the peak, and also just allow themselves the opportunity by keeping busy, because it has been a bit slower here this morning as we watch some live action in the water. That is Alistair Reginato He's already locked in a 5 and a 3, so anything better than that 3 is going to improve on his lead. With just over 20 minutes on the clock, this is of course semi-final heat number 2 of the men. We've just determined our first finalist of the Vissla Central Coast Pro QS 3000, and that is Kalani Ball. Who will he take on, Alistair Reginato or Joel Vaughan? We watch the Destination New South Wales wave replay. Talk us through this one, Dimmy.
Yeah, a little bit caught up on that first turn, just trying to get a bit of down the line speed. And Kalani identified that the fact it is tricky, so the more waves you ride, the better the opportunity is going to become. But yeah, there's still, I feel like it's actually got a little bit bigger than yesterday, but with this bit of morning sickness, it's just trying to sort itself out. But already we've seen Alistair Reginato lock in a 5-point ride and a 3-point ride, so I'm sure that Vaughan will be eyeing off something to put himself back in the game. And look at this. I love how patient this guy is. And just the depth of his bottom hand turn creates that positioning to put himself nice and vertical into the wave. And I feel, Britt, that is going to be the best wave of the heat, just based on the size and the precise nature of those turns.
I'd have to agree with you on that one, Dimmy. Just the 2 turns, he connected well as well. He went straight from one turn into a bottom turn for the second, and just absolutely no downtime. So great read on that wave there for Joel Vaughan, and the wave selection too, Dimmy. Like you said, it was a bigger wave. It provided more opportunity for Joel Vaughan, and well, he made the most of that one.
Yeah, the judges definitely would have set a scale this morning trying to identify what they want to see. And I feel there was a lot of speed, power, flow, and there was major manoeuvres. And that's really that is the meat in the sandwich when it comes to scoring potential as a judge. And there it is, the best wave of the heat so far, a 7.17. Joel Vaughan, just lovely attack on the back end.
Joel Vaughan making a statement in semi-final heat number 2. He's sitting in second place, but he holds the highest single wave of this heat so far. That is the 7.17. He's now only chasing a 2.16 to move on into first place and grab his spot in that main final. But you certainly can't rule out the likes of Alistair Reginato. He has been in fine form throughout this entire event.
I feel right now, Britt, that Vaughan is going to try to get a little bit more busy with our priority, just to get that 2.16 to make it a little bit more comfortable for his position in the lineup. He definitely wants something up in the 7-point range to sort of shut Alistair out, because he knows how dangerous Reginato is. But at the moment, his main focus, you can see him on the inside, it's just looking at multiple ways, even though they're not, a set. He knows he only needs a 2.16 to go into the lead, so he'll try to establish a lead and then build house from there.
And it becomes a bit of I guess, a mental strategy as well, knowing that he only needs a 2.16. Should he get it, he'll move into first place. He'll be in second priority rotation, but once Alistair gets another wave, it'll mean that Joel Vaughan potentially sitting out there in first place and first priority.
Yeah, and I felt like that wave there, he was trying to give himself a little bit of separation as we see Alistair up and riding, kicking out. See, that was one of those waves. Probably looked really nice as he sort of paddled into that wave, but just ran away on the bank. So tricky bank, quite a bit of water moving, but it's just trying to identify those waves that have these little wedge, and this one definitely does, but catches a rail.
There are a few bumps and wobbles out here this morning at Avoca Beach, and surfers having to manage it. Just watching Alistair
morning. There's always bumps and wobbles.
Bit of Saturday morning sickness, but we'll watch Joel Vaughan, the surfer, North Shelley board riders, catching a bit of a nose on the way down.
Like, how tricky was that? Even for someone of, the class of Joel Vaughan, he really had to sort of hold his course stable just to actually hold on to that turn as we see him get to the inside. So a lot cleaner on the inside, but yeah, there's definitely a lot of, bumps on the face of these waves. Here we go. Looks like Alistair going to the air. Oh, wow. That was unbelievable. He was eyeing off that section, Brett. This will be intriguing because this is probably the first really good air we've seen landed this morning.
And, well, I feel like it was almost perfectly executed. So it'd be interesting to see where the judges feel that air sits in the scoreline as we watch the Destination New South Wales wave replay of Joel Vaughan. Drifts the tail, catches a bit of a rail here, but he does well. He recovers and he gets this little bonus connection as he sticks with it. Important ride here for Joel Vaughan, but it's going to be interesting with Alistair Reginato's score following this.
That was really well read, that. And here we go, Alistair. You can see him eyeing off this section on the backhand. Awesome aerial manoeuvre. The rotation, so clean. And for such a big guy, he's got such a strong air game. It's just incredible to watch him surf. He's got it all. Power, he's got the flair, and he's also got that new age air game to go with it. And there it is, an 8.33. Alistair Reginato goes into the lead. Joel Vaughan would have been looking back going, oh no.
And there you have it, Alistair Reginato. He wants his spot in the main final. He's not going to let Joel Vaughan have it. With 14 and a half minutes remaining, things have certainly stepped up for this semi-final of the men. Who will match up against Kalani Ball? At the moment, Alistair Reginato has the upper hand with the highest single wave of this semi so far, an 8.33 for that backhand air. It was well rewarded. It was well worth it. As we watch another replay here, Dimmy.
Yeah, you can see him eyeing it off, and he's just got a perfect platform to just explode. And you can see the body language. He liked it. He felt it. Yeah, that was execution perfection. And yes, as I said before, he's got such a great rail game, but he's also got that, you know, that progression and innovation in his surfing. And my tip right now is Joel Vaughan is going to start to go to the air very shortly, because he's going to be going, whatever you do, I'm going to try to match you. And that's what's great about having two of the young guns of our region just going for broke, knowing that there's a spot in the final against Kalani Ball, and they're going to bring it to the table. We saw that probably the heat of the year at Maruba with Joel Vaughan in it with Dakota Waters. And again, I feel like this is going to be just such an intense battle.
You almost took the words right out of my mouth, Dimmy. I felt the same way. I just feel like the fact that Alistair's got an 8.33 on the air and the scores in this heat so far, I can just see it. Joel Vaughan is going to step up another level, and this is going to get even more exciting to watch as we watch Alistair Reginato finish this one almost on the sand, just milking it for everything that it's worth. He's looking to drop a 5 as his backup. So interesting in the scoreboard at the moment, both surfers have a backup of a 5.
It's basically on to the best wave. Here we go, look, Joel Vaughan, good looking wave, just extending, exploding through the lip. And this one's got a lot more cleanliness to it, and he's going to work. This is a great looking wave. Joel Vaughan leans in to a drop wallet and finishes it off nicely indeed. So as I said, I feel like this is going to be an intense battle, and we're only just over halfway through.
This is exactly what we want. It is finals day. It's all happening here at Avoca Beach as we watch the Destination New South Wales rave replay of the current heat leader from the Sunshine Coast. That's Alistair Reginato. Great turn there, links straight into a second. Bit of a foam climb for a third, and gets the finish on the inside.
And then we had Joel Vaughan looking at the next wave, and look at this. This wave lined up, one of the first ones to line up out the back, and he just explodes into the lip. Nice carving setup turn for the second manoeuvre into the power source once more, and then a little bit of variety, leaning into the rail and really extending through. So that was a great exchange. I feel like Joel would have got the better of those two rides. And it is a game on at Avoca Beach on finals day. Beautiful day. It's been ultra hot this week on the coast, but we've seen some dramatic surfing. And talking about dramatic surfing, what about that score? Last of Joel Vaughan, an 8.43.
There you have it. He kept the board in the water and managed to lock in the highest wave of this semi, an 8.43. He answers straight back to Alistair Reginato. Here's the replay. Drives hard off the bottom, hits the lip, bit of a blowtail. A carve there just to set himself up for this next section, and it's really this one here. Gets innovative. He lays into it, drops the wallet, gets the completion, and gets the excellent number that he was searching, Dimmy.
I feel like the point of difference in that ride was how top to bottom that first turn was. Because I felt like it's been very, very sort of fat on the wave face as they've taken off, and it's got better as they've gone down the line. I feel like that was the one wave that has really cupped onto the bank and offered up that big, big turn out the back. And Joel Vaughan, the execution was perfect. 8.43 and a 7.17 into the lead. Alistair Reginato now needs a 7.26. And look at these two-wave totals for both these surfers. They are such talents, and it's going to be fascinating to watch their careers develop. And I'm sure both of them will be looking towards, you know, the championship tour in the coming years. And when you surf like these guys do, the sky's the limit.
It is, and well, when
Like that?
I knew exactly where you were headed with that one. I just tried to avoid it, Dimmy. I was like, I'm not even going to give that any energy right now. But it certainly is.
I'm still calling Vorney's going to go to the air.
It's got to happen. I feel like right now he's going to be looking for something big. He just wants to take this thing home, and well, he is at home right now. He's a Central Coast local, Meadow Bay, just up the road.
Let's talk about that as well. The fact that Joel actually has that sort of position where he's getting to stay at home, be comfortable, sort of keep that rhythm going, which he normally would when he would be at home, getting his meals cooked by his mum and his dad and stuff like that, and sleeping in your own bed. What does that do to an athlete as you try to play a part?
Oh, it makes a massive difference. I know that Vorney actually lost his mum not long ago, and yeah, thoughts out to their family and the crew. But you know, it's a massive thing, just being able to have that comfort, the home comforts, the creature comforts, and you know, just to be even just at a location that you're so comfortable with, like here at Avoca Beach. I know he is from a different part of the beach, but you know, just knowing that he has access to everything that he would normally have access to at home. He's got his own bed to sleep in, like you said. He has his meals cooked. He's potentially still doing his normal training regime, and being able to just be around his mates and his family. And, you know, it's not normally something that you would have access to when you're at bigger events.
And he's also got Huey, his little whippet brother, right there with him, supporting him, and his dad and stuff. So a great family of surfers in this region. But I feel like the fact that you get to stay at home, you're sort of in that environment where you're so comfortable, and it plays a part, because travelling in itself can be a real drain.
It is. It's exhausting, you know. Life on the road, it's one of those things, it's the dream, right? But there's so many different factors that play into travelling and being on the road. I think the benefit, not only for Joel Vaughan being in his local town right now, but just all competitors having that opportunity to have this regional series up and down the New South Wales coastline. A lot of them, you know, you don't have to factor in time zones or different eating patterns or what's available at your local supermarket. And, you know, they're things that you do have to factor in when you're travelling overseas.
100%, even going to your local coffee shop and just having that support mechanism around. You know, I'm 100% positive there'll be literally hundreds of people watching online from the local board riders getting behind Vorney, and he just brings his A game. And I feel like these waves sort of suit his surfing. Along with Alistair, I feel like these two guys have been sort of standouts when it comes to you know, their performances out here. And what I love is their level of intensity grows as the event grows as well. They have that unique ability and that maturity level where they can actually, you know, go to the next level when they need it, change gears. Here we go, Joel Vaughan up and right in, kicking on out. But yeah, right now he's looking to identify something that's going to offer up something more than a 7.17.
And that's the position that Joel Vaughan's put him in as well. You know, like he doesn't have to take anything and everything. He can wait if he wants to, knowing that to improve on that lead, he needs something better than that 7.17. And it's not just going to be an average wave. He needs something decent to improve on his scoreline, because he's already locked in some healthy numbers. But look how close this semi-final heat is. This is exactly what we want to see. 15.6 up against 14.83 at the moment. It's the local in the lead.
I feel like you sort of you hit it on the head perfectly earlier about that first heat where you're sort of the guinea pig. And I feel like the ocean sort of really livened up as we see Joel Vaughan up and riding on this wave. But I feel like, you know, once that first heat gets out of the way, you get rid of that morning sickness and the banks sort of start to define themselves. So, yeah, it looks really good. Even though there is a little bit of chatter on the face, for the most part, the quality of waves is starting to increase as we go through the morning. Right now, semi-final number 2, we have Kalani Ball out there already into the final of the men's. And then we have the women's semi-finals. Who's going to join Kalani? Is it going to be Joel Vaughan, one of the rising stars of the surf scene, made a big statement last year, or is it going to be Alistair Reginato? Here we go. This is Vorney Watch his second turn, bang, and the release and how square that second turn was ultra impressive.
That started the
I'm
heat.
still calling that he's going to go to the air.
It was a 7-1-7, but Alistair
And he was
Reginato, he answered straight back. Managed to lock in some decent numbers as well. So these surfers are just going wave for wave, score for score. Both of them want it, but only one can move on through.
How sweet is his rail game, Alistair? And I love those subtle differences in the way he did those turns. That release and that flow, and then we had this wave, Joel Vaughan just attacking with so much power, so square off the bottom into this corner. And what I love is the variety of repertoire here where he lands in and just that full control through that final manoeuvre, and that's where a lot of that score was.
It was nice to watch, Dimmy, and you spoke of it there, just variety. The fact that he didn't go for the same turn, he decided to mix it up, do something different, and you talked about it earlier, just that first turn, it was really hard off the bottom, straight up into the lip. He pushed his back foot, drifted the tail a little bit, a bit of a fin waft, and I think, that was the critical section on that wave, but just the fact that he was able to then add in that versatility at the end, it just kind of stamped that authority, saying that I am going to get a decent number here, give it to me.
It was the first wave that really stood up on the bank. It was very, visually evident that that wave had potential from the outside, where we've said it before, where I felt like most of the waves, the scoring waves, other than the aerial manoeuvre for Alistair, have been waves that have been what we call growers. So that's why I think the judges identified how superb that wave was, and just the execution of that first turn, like you said, it had everything. He sent so much water into the sky, but he also had a lovely bit of drift in it. Look at this wave. Boys, oh, wow. Now that is a good combination. That will be interesting. See Alistair Reginato look up there and go, what about that two-turn?
That was an excellent two-turn combo there from the man in the blue. He's chasing a 7.28 to move into first place. Will the two turns get him the score required? Critical moves in there from the surfer in the blue. You got to just look back to Joel Vaughan 7-1-7 as for two backhand manoeuvres.
Yep.
I know it's different because backhand, forehand, but I feel like Alistair Reginato's two turns on his forehand were right up there with that 7-1-7.
Oh, that was power, speed, flow on a big, chunky section. Jump off the fence, tell us what you think that would be. I'm calling it's going to be an 8 or above. There it
Judges
is.
has gone a 9.07, so just like that, Alistair Reginato flips the heat. Joel Vaughan now chasing an 8.98, Dimmy.
What about this heat? As we said, Joel Vaughan's been involved in probably the heat of the year down at Maroubra. I reckon this actually might, overtake that heat. A 9.07 and an 8.33 for Alistair. Those two turns, if we can get a replay of that, that would be great. We saw Joel a little bit further down the peak, but what about the execution and the power from the man from the sunny coast? And this is the wave. Look at it. So much depth to this wave. First turn into the pocket. Releases the tail, and that's this turn. Bang.
Huge
Wow.
turns, huge number, Dimmy.
Huge turns, huge number.
A 9.07, Alistair Reginato from Alexandra Headland on the Sunshine Coast. He is in the lead at the moment with a backup of an 8.33. It really doesn't get too much better than this heat right now. Joel Vaughan in second place in the red, an 8.43 and a 7.17. Normally that'd be a pretty good heat total, but
Are you kidding? That would be a winning total. But
it
such
is
is
not enough right now.
It's a semi-finals. What do you expect? These guys are going to bring their A game, and as I said, both these surfers are sort of the look into the future for Australian surfing when it comes to putting them in a position on the world stage, and their performances just match that.
As we approach the Mad Mex minute, semi-final heat number 2 of the men in the water. We've already determined our first finalist. That is Kalani Ball, the defending champ of this event. Vissla Central Coast Pro QS 3000, presented by Mad Mex. And this is the current heat leader up and riding, Alistair Reginato, racing down the line, takes the air, cannot stick it. He's now left the door with a little crack open for
Little
Joel
ajar.
Vaughan.
Come on, Vaughanie. I'd love to see one more battle. It's been such an exciting heat to be a part of, and both these surfers, no one deserves to lose. And right now it is Joel Vaughan up against it. He needs an 8.98. So it needs to come in at basically just under the best wave of the heat at 9.07. And it is 10 seconds to go. I do not think there's going to be an opportunity, but Joel Vaughan has just, showed his class. What a heat it's been. But Alistair Reginato, every time Joel went to the lead, the big man from the sunny coast has bounced back. And as we see, I think this was after the heat. But yeah, I told you to go to the air, but it was after the heat. But that was an exciting battle. A pleasure to be a part of that, Brit, and we're going to throw off to a break. It is Alistair Reginato about to take on Kalani Ball in the final. We're into the women's semis. We'll be back very shortly.
This is the motivation.
It's in all of us. That craving to feel new again. To see something new that will blow our minds. Or meet someone new who will change it. New South Wales. A place to feel free. To feel alive. And most of all, to feel new again.
Welcome back to a beautiful morning here at Avoca Beach for finals day of the Sisstrevolution Central Coast Pro QS 3000 presented by Mad Mex. This is our final stop of the Vissla New South Wales Pro Surf Series for 2023. We just had the men's Vissla event in the water determining two finalists in Kalani Ball and Alistair Reginato. We are now straight into the women's semi-final heat number one. Zali Kelly will take on Mirai Ikeda from Japan. And what a matchup we have here, Robbo.
Yeah, what an amazing semi-final. We've got two semi-finals coming up in the women's Sisstrevolution Pro and Japan versus Australia. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. The Japanese have been super impressive. There's Zali Kelly, but it looks like the Japanese surfer here on the left, they've been really impressive throughout this event. They revel in these conditions because this is exactly what they get in Japan all year round. But what about that last semi-final? I was amazed, not surprised, but amazed at the performance levels. Joel Vaughan has been involved in two incredible semi-finals and has come out on the losing end of both. But he must be feeling very confident in his performance.
He would be. I feel like, with heat totals like that at Maroubra and also here, although he's been eliminated in the semi-final, you've got to have the confidence leading into the next part of events and just backing your own surfing. But backing his surfing, well, the surfer from the sunny coast, Alistair Reginato, it's Britt Nicol and Steve Robbo. How are you feeling moving on into the final?
Yeah, feeling good. That was such a gnarly heat with Jolie. He's so gnarly. He's just like, can't give him an inch and he'll take it and he'll do a pun. He's just such a gnarly competitor. So yeah, it was really good to get that win.
Alistair, it was one of the best heats that we've witnessed throughout this entire event. Can you talk us through how you manage your nerves when you put on the back foot there. You know, Vorney, he locked in some excellent scores. He went to the lead, but you managed to fight back. You didn't buckle under pressure. You got a 9.07 off the basis of 2 really solid turns. How do you manage those nerves?
Just kind of backing myself. I think it's been a massive part this year, just knowing I've done all the hard work, and if I get the opportunity on the waves, I know I can perform. So yeah, just backing myself and knowing that if an opportunity comes, I can make the most of it.
Alistair, you mentioned that hard work. We've been watching you closely over the past month, and it really seems like your performance level has lifted a significant notch this season. Did you put in a lot of hard work in the off-season?
Yeah, massively. It was probably the biggest off-season I've had. Probably the longest off-season I had too, like with the challenges and the way the regional QS is set up. It gives me a massive opportunity to train, and it's really paid off. And yeah, it's been a massive 6 months in the gym and on the beach doing a lot of coaching. So yeah, it's cool to see it turn into some results.
Yeah, well, we've certainly noticed your power level's gone up in a big way, and you're through to the final now. You must be feeling really confident and keen to chase the win.
Yeah, absolutely. It's my biggest goal this year was to win one of these big QSs. So yeah, I'm pretty frothing. The waves are actually almost better than yesterday. It's a little bit bigger, and that bank that Jolie and I moved on to had a couple of really good opportunities. So yeah, really frothing for the final, and hopefully Cable and I can put on a show for everyone.
Okay, well, we'll let you go away and prepare for that final. Best of luck to you at this event and into the next event. We know there's a lot on the line, so good luck, Alistair. We've loved what you're doing.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
What a season. And it backs up what we thought, Britt. We've said, you know, this guy has lifted his performance level, and he's just told us he's done a lot of training in the off-season, and it's paid off big time.
Oh, for sure, and it certainly shows. You know, I just feel like he's also found a little bit of consistency in this series this year, and it's paying off. He's had a third, he's had a fifth, and well, now he's in the final. So at bare minimum, he's going to walk away with the second, but he's chasing that win. He wants that 3,000 points. He's sitting in 7th place on the rankings at the moment for the regional QS, and that is right on the bubble for qualification on that Challenger Series.
I want to see him in the Challenger. I want to see this guy into the Challenger Series.
We watch live action in the water. We are into the women's semi-final heat number 1. Zali Kelly in the lead at the moment with a 5.23 and a 1. Now Japanese competitor Mirai Ikeda in second place with a 4.83 and a 0.5. Only looking for a 1.41 at this stage, but still plenty of time remaining as we watch Zali Kelly take off, Robbo.
Yep, and a nice move on the outside of that wave, but the wave really didn't deliver much. But Zali's off to a reasonable start with a 5.23. Has the better of those first wave exchanges. Our surfer from Japan, Akita, has a 4.83. Plenty of time remaining.
It was interesting as well, you know, semi-final heat number 1 that we watched with Kalani Ball moving on through. It was a pretty slow heat. The boys were busy, but it was a slowish heat, and I feel like it was one of those situations where it was that guinea pig heat. The conditions have changed overnight. There's a little bit of lump and bump on the face, and you know, the competitors have to really identify where the bank is and where the positioning is on the peak. And the surfers in semi-final heat number 2, like Alistair just mentioned, he actually feels that conditions were better this morning than what they were yesterday.
I know, which was amazing, because yesterday morning it looked like it was perfect. But Alistair probably prefers this slight lump and bump in amongst it, clean faces, pockets, and it allows him a little more power sections. So, but well, how about the final? Kalani Ball versus Alistair is going to be amazing.
It is going to be a massive matchup for the men here at the Vissla Central Coast Pro QS 3000. But who is going to make the women's final for the Sisstrevolution Central Coast Pro at the moment? Zali Kelly, Mirai Ikeda. But in semi-final heat number 2, we've also got another Aussie and Japanese final. Nixie Ryan up against Anun Matsuoka.
Yep, I'm really looking forward to that. I've mentioned it a few times. I've been very, very impressed with Anun's technique and style. And Nixie, she just keeps delivering every heat. So it's going to be incredible to watch.
It is, as we watch Zali Kelly, one huge turn, but just not able to stick the completion. A little hung up on the heels. Huge turn.
Looked like she almost rode out of it.
It's almost like she just caught that explosion on the end section and just bounced her off. So 1.17, not going to really improve too much on that lead. That one's certainly going to be a throwaway by the end of this heat. As we watch the Destination New South Wales wave replay, Zali Kelly, this is huge turn, but just not able to get the completion, Robbo. Just couldn't quite project out in front of it.
And we've seen in these beach break conditions, one big turn can score big. Here's our Japanese surfer up and riding, and again, not quite finishing off. She should have finished off that final turn. She would have been on a decent score, I feel.
Yeah, so completion is crucial in competitive surfing, and even more crucial right now in the semi-finals. It could be the make or break to your campaign here at Avoca Beach. So great first turn. Put it up there for the second, and it looked like she was going to get the completion, but just last minute got bounced off.
Yeah, it gets shallow in on that inside section, and there may have been a little bit of backwash there. It looked like she should have completed it, but yeah, a little bit of backwash or a double up on that shallow sandbank can knock anyone off. And so situation change, 2.93 for Akita's last ride has put her into the lead, but it's just a score anomaly at the moment because their second waves are going to be throwaways for sure. Akita has best score of 4.83. Kelly has her best score at 5.23. So Kelly's holding a slight advantage at this stage. Zali Kelly, the Australian.
The 18.5 minutes remaining of semi-final heat number one of the women. They are, of course, half-hour heats. The extra time allowing competitors to really find their groove and rhythm with the ocean. Coming up next, we have Nixie Ryan from Lennox Head and Anun from Japan. That'll be another exciting matchup. So it is finals day here at Avoca. Huge day of action. We just had a phenomenal semi-final between Joel Vaughan and Alistair Reginato, like we mentioned earlier.
A lot on the line here because, as Zali Kelly mentioned yesterday, she needs a win. She's had a lot of reasonable results. She's finally broken through the quarterfinal barrier, but she really needs a win. She's gone very close to qualification in the past, and she wants to get back on that Challenger Series, and she needs a couple of good results, and a win here would do her cause a great favour. So Zali Kelly will be chasing the win, not just in this semi-final, but in this event overall, because she needs some points to mix it in with the qualification chances.
Zali Kelly, she is currently sitting 14th on that 2022-23 Regional QS Series. So a good result here will jump her up a fair few spots. She's had 5 fifth place finishes in that series. The best 5 results count. She's had 5 fifth places. She's actually had more than that in total. She mentioned yesterday, I think she'd had 7 or 9 fifth place finishes.
Yeah.
So she's really been able to get that monkey off the back here for this event. She did it yesterday afternoon, and you know, moving into the semi-final with, I guess, that little bit of extra pressure off, knowing that, okay, I've broken where I was at. That was a big achievement in itself, and now she's going to use that momentum to hopefully move on into the main final. But she's going to have to take down the likes of Mirai Ikeda from Japan, because she has been in good form throughout this event as well. So we watch Zali Kelly up and riding, Robbo.
Keeping very busy, and this is a good left-hander. It's allowed for multiple moves on the backhand. We need to have a close look at this wave. She's definitely going to get rid of the 1.17, that's for certain. She'll definitely go to the lead as well. How strong a wave was that? There's a lot of good turns in amongst it. Haven't been that many lefts ridden. Here we go, watching. Nice turn in the pocket. Top to bottom combination, linking them together well. About 6 backhand turns on that wave. So, I don't know. Leave that with the judges, but what do you think, Britt?
I feel like the first turn could have been more critical. I felt like she kind of just shortened the turn a little early. But yeah, obviously, you know, you want quality over quantity. I just feel like there wasn't enough criticalness to those turns.
And that's how the judges have seen it, a 4.53. A really good score, I feel, from the judges. It puts her into the lead. It gives her a decent backup score for sure. There was a lot of good surfing. And, yeah, I feel like she's given it everything to a wave that didn't have a lot of power in it. And, yeah, she's extracted a decent score out of that ride.
Yeah, had that wave been another foot bigger, I feel like
could have gone to town on it.
It would have been a lot higher score for Zali Kelly, but it was enough to take her to first place in semi-final heat number 1 of the women. The surfer in black in first place, the surfer in pink in second. Our Japanese competitor now chasing a 4.94 to advance into the main final. And this is a huge event for both of these competitors looking to qualify through their own regions. This is, of course, a co-sanctioned event, which is why we've observed so many surfers over here from that Asian region. So this does count towards their rankings and their campaign towards that Challenger Series as well. This is, of course, also our final stop of the Vissla New South Wales Pro Surf Series for 2023. We started at the Great Lakes. We then had Port Stephens, Maroubra, and here we are on the Central Coast to wrap things up on the series. Great to have Vissla on board again this year, partnering with Surfing New South Wales across the QS events as they have done for the past 4 years. And well, this event here for the women, the Sisstrevolution Central Coast Pro, thanks to Sister, Vissla Sister brand. They are a young brand. They had their first anniversary right when the pandemic hit in 2020, so they've done an amazing job at just being able to maintain that organisational structure and really continue to support surfing and the development of women's surfing as well. Be sure to check out sisstrevolution.com. Grab yourself some clothing, accessories, wetsuits, you name it, they've got it. And if you want something for the men, be sure to check out vissla.com.
Destination New South Wales. Great supporters and taking us to all these magnificent destinations. Some of the best beaches in the world along the coast of New South Wales. From one border in the north to the south, it's just a magnificent stretch of coastline, and there's surf along the entire region, as we've seen.
Yeah, I'd say I'm not biased, but I'm so biased. I'm blue through and through. I love New South Wales.
You love
this
New
is home
South
for
Wales.
me.
You love the weather, the heat
paradise.
waves.
There's no place better.
Yep. And all these magnificent beaches looked after by, you know, lifeguards like Michael Crisp. They're all over the place protecting all the tourists and all the surfers. And there's a New South Wales rescue program. It's just a great coastline.
So it was a strong turn there from Zali Kelly. She's just not able to get up and over that second section to get the completion on that ride. She did some work out the back. We spoke of it earlier. A bigger wave will get her a bigger number and a critical section at that. Drives hard off the bottom, cracks the lip, and just a bit late to the second section and couldn't ride out of the foam. We'll wait and see what the judges think of that one.
Yeah, I know. One strong turn. We've seen that it can score, and that was a really good opening manoeuvre. And there you go. She's been well rewarded for that one strong turn, a 5.23, 5.93 and a 5.23. So Zali Kelly has opened up a decent lead. So one strong turn can make a big difference in these types of conditions especially.
And that's a prime example of what I was talking about earlier with you, Robbo, you know, the quality over quantity. Zali Kelly, she had that left before. It was a mid-range 4 that she got, but she managed to get about 6 backhand turns in. But there was nothing too critical to the wave. It was a smaller wave as well. And, well, the 5.93. That's an example of the fact that one big solid turn on a big section will get you a healthy number.
Yep.
So it's no longer 3 to the beach.
No, everyone can do moderate manoeuvres and lots of them, but it's the big moves that really count in the judge's eyes, and that was a prime example of that.
Could only imagine where the number would have sat should Zali Kelly have got that completion on the last turn.
Yeah.
I feel like it probably would have been pushing closer to a 6.57. So we watch Zali up and riding again. She is staying nice and busy, Robbo.
She is, and picking off the lefts, that one's not going to affect the scoreline at all, but she is staying busy, and that's why she's out in front. Has a decent lead. Akita only needs a 6.33. We know that she's got the ability to get that, and we know that she surfs waves like this all the time in Japan, and we have a takeoff.
Line down the line, huge section. Can she finish? And, well, she doesn't ride out of that one. That is not going to make a difference to this heat right now. But Zali Kelly, she'll look to take first priority. So we watch the Destination New South Wales wave replay of our Japanese competitor on the left-hand. A great setup turn, finished strong on the end section. We had Zali Kelly answering straight back, came hard off the bottom, cracked the lip, put it up and over there for the second, but not able to get the completion on that one. And thanks to Destination New South Wales for supporting our events, and also one of our supporting partners, Central Coast Council. We would, of course, not be here without their support. We are in a beautiful part of the world, from headland to hinterland. The New South Wales Central Coast is making waves. You can discover the region's charming seaside villages. You can dine on paddock to plate.
Someone else who aware surfers in the water. That's one of the other board riders here. Here we go. Pink up and riding, opens up the valve for the first.
That is a surfer up and riding. Just a quick one there. Or what could have been the competitor in pink from Japan.
One good move, but she needs more than that to get the 6.33, I feel.
The Japanese competitor chasing a 6.33 as we watch the Destination New South Wales wave replay. Carves into the pocket. Nice first turn, but just ended up a little behind that second section.
Yeah, it didn't line up for her. Akita chasing a 6.33. And we've seen enough of her performance up to date, and there we have our second semi-finalist, Anun. She's going to be very, very dangerous in these conditions.
And look,
see how focused she is and getting ready.
How intense they look, Rob. Oh, there you go. There's a smile. She cracked a smile
out of her. Not from the coach, though. She's really focused.
There is some breathing techniques happening on the beach there. That is our competitor from Japan. Coming up next, Anun Matsuoka. She has been in great form throughout this entire event. She's watching her fellow Japanese competitor out in the water right now, Mirai Akita. Strong contingency from that Asian region over here at the moment. They are reveling in these conditions.
Yeah, and the region's growing. And one of the marketing ploys that they used in the Asia region is they believe they have the best waves in the world. Indonesia in particular.
There are some world-class locations over there, that's for sure. I feel like the events over there to just be like a playground every single time you put that rashi on.
Yeah. Indonesia, as part of the Asian region, definitely has a case to put their hand up and say, we have the best waves in the world. And that's why we're seeing a lot of Asian surfers emerging from the entire region, and it's great to have them over here. And we'll have a recap. Let's have a look at these waves and break them down, Brett.
Thanks to Mad Max, Fresh Fuel for Life, one of our presenting rights partners for the event and also our series. We had the competitor in the red open up. That's our competitor from Japan, but Aussie Zali Kelly put some healthy numbers together, linked a couple of turns on her backhand. The competitor in the pink answered back, nice carve. Looked for the end section, but just couldn't quite get the completion, Robbo.
No, if she had to finish that off, there was a point there for sure. And there's the big turn. The big turn, decisive one for sure, because that was the best scoring ride of the heat. And that's why Zali Kelly's in the lead. We saw enough there from the surfer in pink, Akita, to know that she's got the skills to pull out that 6.33 that she needs, but she's hunting out for a wave.
That is Nixie Ryan on screen. I knew we'd get some smiles there. She is an absolute genuine human from Lennox Head. She is sitting 4th on the Australia Oceanic Region Series at the moment. She had an event win at the Great Lakes Pro QS 3000, and well, she's looking to take another 3,000 points here, but she's going to have to get through semi-final heat number 2. That'll be up next.
This is going to be an intriguing second semi-final.
There you go. Look, she's got a smiley face on her board. That'll be another huge semi-final.
But watching Nixie, I feel like the smiley face goes off when she's in the water. It seems like she's got a very strategic, focused approach.
Just a quick one there for our Japanese competitor in the pink. That's not going to be the 6.33 that she is chasing with just under 5 minutes on the clock at the moment. Zali Kelly, the Australian, in first place in the black with a 5.93 and a 5.23. And Mariah Akita from Japan in second place with a 4.83 and a 2.93. So she just, throughout this heat, Robert, just really struggled with the completion of the last turn.
Yeah, and that's cost her a lot. Particularly one of those waves earlier, the right, she had a good opening turn and she wanted to finish off with a strong second turn. Probably left a full point out of her scoreline by falling off on that wave, and that would have made a big difference to the situation. But she's still in the hunt, 4 minutes remaining, 6.33 is the requirement. I don't think she's got time to get 2 scoring rides. I think she's got to focus on a 6.33 or better. Needs to be the best wave of the heat. And of course, Zali Kelly, she knows she's got a 5.23 as her second scoring ride. She'll try and improve on that, make it that little more difficult. She'll also try and use priority in a really smart way. Because we are getting down to the very pointy end of this semi-final, and there's a lot at stake. A position in the final, a potential win, potential to get 3,000 points, potential to qualify for the Challenger Series. It's all going through their head at the moment. The pressure's on, and we've got 3.5 minutes remaining.
And we speak of that pressure being on with the situation competitors are in right now. You know, there are a lot of points on the line right now in this event, and there's only one event following this one, a QS 5000, and that's huge. That's going to determine who qualifies for the Challenger Series. And we've been speaking of the rankings the entire way through this event here at Avoca, and every time we ask a competitor in the post-heat interview, they don't want a bar of it.
Yep, they don't want to know about it, but it's there in the head. It's in the back of the head, playing mind games. Here we go.
One big turn there from the competitor in the pink. I don't think it's going to be the 6.33 that she is chasing.
No, we can see she's got the skills, but she needs the waves. And Zali Kelly, well, you've got to say, well, I think it's a really smart move that she didn't take that wave and use her priority, because I can't see that that's a 6.33. So Zali Kelly sitting out there, just over 2 minutes remaining.
This is where the maturity is going to show in Zali Kelly's approach. She has first priority. She has the lead. There's 2 minutes on the clock. This is the time where Zali Kelly will go sit next to the surfer in pink and just go, hi, yep, I'm here. I'm not going to let you get the wave that you need.
If there's a good wave coming through, I'm going to take it. And she's following her in the lineup, as she should.
There is nothing more frustrating than being that competitor on the receiving end of it, Robbo.
I'm waiting to see the surfer on the receiving end use that tactic to draw an interference. I'm sure it's going through the heads of some of them, because they've tweaked the rules and they've made it clear, yes, you can have priority, but be very careful not to overextend that priority and force a block or force an interference. So I'm sure it's going to happen. I haven't seen it yet, but it'll happen at some stage, because they really do use priority to their best advantage in these final minutes.
It can work for or against you depending on what rotation you're in the priority. As we hit the Mad Mex minute, thanks to Mad Mex, a proud partner with Surfing New South Wales, again across the entire Pro Surf Series, to help share their passion for healthy Mexican food and make people aware of their sponsorship program. That sponsorship program being the Mad Mex Fresh Fuel for Life. It is comprised of a team of junior athletes across surfing, skating and motocross, all working together to help achieve their goals. So great to see Mad Mex on board, not only with surfing but across different action sports, helping the development of sports in general.
And what an ideal partner for surfers.
Healthy
food.
Mexican food.
Yes, healthy.
Mexican, they are my favourite go-tos. I love a taco.
I know, it's
love
nutritious.
A burrito.
You get a decent feed out of it and you feel healthy when you finished it. So there we go. Zali Kelly's into the final.
Who will she match up against? Well, we will know shortly. That concludes semi-final heat number 1 of the women. We'll cut to a short commercial break and join you back here with all the live action of semi-final heat number 2. Welcome back to a beautiful day here at Avoca Beach for finals day of the Sisstrevolution Central Coast Pro QS 3000, presented by Mad Mex. This is our final stop of the Vissla New South Wales Pro Surf Series for 2023. My name is Britt Nicol, joined in the booth with Steve Robertson. And well, Robbo, we're straight into the women's semi-final heat number 2.
Yep, we have 3 finalists already decided. We'll be running finals very soon. In fact, straight after this heat, we'll go into the men's final and then it'll be the women's final. We have to decide who joins Zali Kelly. And it'll be one of these 2 surfers, Nixie Ryan or Anon Matsuoka from Japan.
On screen, we have a surfer up and riding. That looks like it could be Nixie Ryan in the pink. Just the one turn there, but off to a quick start. These are, of course, 30-minute heats, 2-person heats, so 50-50 progression means that only one surfer will move on through to that main final. At the moment, we have determined our first women's finalist, and that is the Australian competitor in Zali Kelly. She broke through the quarterfinal curse well and truly.
She did. That was a confident effort from Zali Kelly. She'll be happy to be in the final. She's had a season that's been frustrating for her with lots of quarterfinal results. She needs the big result and she'll be chasing that here. Nixie Ryan opened with a 2.9, backed it up with a 3.0.
And if you look back at the names that have been in this event throughout the years, last year it was Macy Callahan and Molly Picklin, well, both on the World Tour. And, well, looking for a spot on that World Tour is our previous semi-final winner, Zali Kelly. It's Britt Nicol and Steve Robbo in the booth. Hey, you well and truly broke the quarterfinals. You made the semi, you're now into the final. What does that mean, Zali?
Oh, it means so much. I think my last final was probably Cabba in like 2021, so it's definitely been a while, and yeah, hopefully I can do one better and take the win.
So, Zali, right now, you need the points, so a lot of pressure, and you've got to get ready for the final. How do you reset, and what's your strategy going to be in this final?
My strategy is just going to be the same as it has been every heat. Just surf as good as I can on the waves that I get, and hopefully it works out for me.
Hey Zali, you've been gaining momentum, and well, I feel like you're going to gain a lot of confidence from this result, regardless of what you finish in that final. But can you talk us through what might have changed leading into this event for you to be able to break through those barriers?
I think I was just fired up after how many times I've lost in the quarters. I just wanted to get past that so bad. So I think that definitely helped my fire out there.
Well, stay fired up, Zali. We'll let you go away, prepare for your final, and good luck. And yep, we hope you take the big points.
Thank you so much.
Big congratulations to Zali Kelly, our first women's finalist of the Sisstrevolution Central Coast Pro. I tell you what, if she can take the win, that'll be 3,000 points in her campaign towards that Challenger Series. And at the moment, she does need the points. She's sitting in 14th on the QS at the moment.
And Anon Matsuoko is off to a flying start here. She's got a 5.67 and a 5. Two decent scores within 5 minutes of this semi-final starting. Nixie Ryan, we saw some good moves in there. A 3 and a 2.9. She may have a score to drop, I'm not sure. But Anon Matsuoko off to a decent start. And I've been really impressed with some of the techniques of Anon Matsuoko.
I feel like a lot of the Japanese competitors in general, like there's that discipline, there's that calculation to their surfing. Their technique always looks so calculated and so flawless, and you can really tell that they put a lot of work in behind the scenes. And even just looking at the preparation, you know, we had the competitor on the screen preparing for a heat, the surfer in black, and you could just see how intense things were on the beach as she prepared for this semi-final.
Here she goes. Look at these backhand bottom to top turns. Nice one again. She'll be looking for a good finish and finishes it off. Technically very correct from what I've seen on her backhand. Anon Matsuoko. And you're right. I've always expected the Japanese surfers to actually perform better than they have in the past decade. But we're starting to see it now come to fruition.
So we watch the Destination New South Wales wave replay. That is our current heat leader in the black, Anon Matsuoka. She is in first place with a 5.67 and a 5, so she's looking to replace the 5 as her small score in her scoreline if she wants to extend her lead over Nixie Ryan in the pink from Lennox Head. She's looking for a 7.67 if she wants a spot in that main final. She certainly knows what it takes to win. She had a good run last year. She's already had a good run this year. And, well, Nixie Ryan, she's up and riding, Robbo.
Yep, and looking for a good section to belt. And there it is. Finishes off with a strong turn. The start of the wave didn't offer a lot. So she'll be back out there. There's plenty of time. And if there's one thing we know about Nixie, she knows how to fight out a heat. And she may be in second place and needing a decent score at the moment, but she's strategically smart and determined, and she'll find a way to get the scores. But that wave not offering a huge amount of potential until the very final move.
I just think wave selection was what factored into that for Nixie Ryan. She decided to use priority on that wave, and I feel like on takeoff she probably knew that it wasn't going to be the one that she was searching for. But with just under 22 minutes remaining on the clock, there's still plenty of time for Nixie Ryan to find that rhythm with the ocean and build that momentum throughout semi-final heat number 2 of the women. Coming up next, we have the men's Vissla Central Coast Pro QS 3000 final. It'll be the defending champ, Kalani Ball, taking on the Sunshine Coast surfer, Alistair Reginato.
And I feel like if you look at this event and the past few events, they have been two of the standout surfers all the way, and it's going to be, it's what we expect. Two informed surfers, they will battle it out, and here we have our Japanese competitor on the backhand again, keeping busy. She'll be looking for a big finish. Getting plenty of turns in here.
That wave just wanted to continue on giving there, Robbo.
Giving. And I'll be interested to see how the score comes out. A lot of backhand turns. They were technically correct, but I don't think there were any of the really big moves that we come to expect from Matsuoko on this ride. So I'm not sure that she'll increase her scoreline. That was probably the best of her turns and finishes off well. It's going to be close. 5 points is what she's looking to get rid of.
Yeah, I feel like judges would be doing the comparison in the two waves that she's already got in her scoreline right now. As we watch the Destination New South Wales wave replay of Nixie Ryan, drives hard off the bottom, hits the lip, just the one turn. Nixie Ryan looking to find her rhythm with the ocean. So that was a wave that was caught during the replay of the surfer in black. Nixie chasing a 7.27 at this stage of the heat. Will Last of Black Anun go into her top two?
I think, Nixie's looking to get rid of the 3.4 and the 3. Well, it has a 6.17 for Anon Matsuoko, and it makes sense. There were good turns all the way, and Matsuoko always has a lot of power. Here we go. Nixie's got a better ride. Really strong opening turn, really strong. But again, the wave not delivering the opportunity to get more turns in. She's not going to get the 8.44 required. She may get the best score of her scoreline up to date and narrow the margin. But she's got a very strong, powerful forehand bottom to top turn. Matsuoko has a 6.17 and a 5.67. Nixie Ryan looking to get rid of those two 3-point rides.
You can see the difference in the two approaches now as we watch the current heat leader up and riding. This is a better looking right-hander. It's got a steeper section, or as I say that, it just starts to flatten out. But I just felt like that wave in general had a lot more size to it compared to the previous waves of this surfer.
It's delivering for her. They are strong turns. She is a very technically correct and impressive surfer on the backhand and forehand. She just utilised that wave going right and finishing off on the left-hander that delivered to her. I am really interested to see what that score comes in at, because there were strong turns throughout. I'm going into the 7s, personally.
We will wait and see where that sits. It was definitely a bigger wave. She had a great first turn. It flattened out through the middle section, but then she got the inside connection. She had a change of direction. The Nixie Ryans has dropped in.
Yep, a 4.83 and a 4.33. So she's getting rid of those 3-point rides. She's narrowing the margin. She at least has a second score in her bank at the moment, a 4.83. She needs more, and she may need more again when that score of Matsuoko drops. We'll just wait and see on that, because take no notice of what I think, because I've often been wrong, but I think Matsuoko is going to improve her scoreline.
Conditions, I feel, are starting to improve throughout the morning. The sun has also come out to play. It's going to be an absolute scorcher of a day here again at Avoca Beach. As we look to wrap up this event, this is, of course, finals day here at the Vissla Sisstrevolution Central Coast Pro QS 3000, presented by Mad Mex. This is, of course, the final stop of that Vissla New South Wales Pro Surf Series for 2023. A big thank you to Vissla, partnering with Surfing New South Wales again on the QS events, as they have done for the past 4 years. They are a great brand, doing amazing things in and out of the water. They are environmentally conscious, with about 80% of Vissla's products range made of environmentally better materials. And well, their sister brand, the sister brand of Vissla, they only launched a few years ago, and they've been involved with Surfing New South Wales as well since their inception. Be sure to check both of those brands out, Vissla.com, Sisstrevolution.com. But live action in the water, this is Nixie Ryan. She is chasing a number, and she is chasing a section. I don't think that's going to be the score that Nixie Ryan is searching for, and I just went to talk about it before, Robbo, earlier, before Anun took off. There's a difference in tactics between these two surfers. I feel like the surfer in black is being a little more patient and selective in regards to the wave quality. She's picked off ones that have hit the bank better, and they tend to be the mid-size waves.
That's what I was thinking. They're not the larger waves. Nixie may be thinking, I need to get the better waves, and the better waves are often the bigger waves, but maybe not on this bank. Maybe it's the mid-size waves that are offering the best potential. So, yeah, you might be right there.
15 and a half minutes remaining in semi-final heat number 2 of the women at the moment. It is the Japanese competitor, Anun Masuoka, in first place with a 6.17 and a 5.87. Nixie Ryan from Lennox Head in second place. She is chasing that 7.21 to take first. Still plenty of time for Nixie to get moving and look for those better waves with more quality, because she is going to want a spot in that main final. She'd be wanting to take on Zali Kelly for that 3,000 points. The Nixie currently sitting in 4th place on the QS rankings so far. She came close to qualification last year. She won a heap of events within this series, but the unfortunate thing for Nixie was the fact that they were all QS 1000s that she won, and once the bigger events came around, she didn't get the results that she was chasing. So she was on such an amazing roll and still didn't qualify for that Challenger Series. So I feel like that's something that Nixie was mindful of this year. She got the win at the Great Lakes Pro. It was amped up to a QS 3000 this year. So
yeah,
it's put her in a better position.
And she's in a better position in this semi-final now with a 5.33 for her last ride. Now only requiring a 6.71. And as we've alluded to, she's a very determined, focused competitor, and she'll fight this semi-final out. We know that, and she's clawed her way back into it. A 6.71 is now the requirement, well within her range. And Matsuoko, I gave it a 7. The judges gave it a 5.87. So it improved her tally.
You had the number 7 right. It was in there somewhere.
I got the 700ths of a point in amongst it. But the judges, they have the replays, they break down, they compare waves, and they get the scores right at the end of the day. But I feel it's good as a viewer to throw the scores, what you think, compare them with what the judges give, and improve your judging skills. And if you want to become a judge, well, get involved in your local board riders, and if you do well there, your state branches. If you do well there, Surfing Australia. You go well on that circuit, you start to move into the World Surf League ranks. Here we go, the Japanese surfer. That wave will not change anything.
Yeah, and if you're tuning on into your live broadcast, as you mentioned, Robbo, you can head out to your state branches. And if you're in New South Wales, that is Surfing New South Wales.
What an organisation.
An amazing organisation. They do so many things for their local community. But if you are looking to become a judge or an official or maybe a surf coach, you can check out their education section of their website. And that'll let you know how to go about doing their courses. A lot of their courses are online now, so you can actually do them from the comfort of wherever you are, and then tally up your hours when you need to. So be sure to check out Surfing New South Wales. They have over 120 affiliated board rider clubs and over 50 surf schools, so plenty of locations to get those judging and surf coaching hours up.
Did you say 120 board riders clubs?
And
in New South Wales?
In New South
No
Wales.
way.
And when I was full-time in their office, that was one of my jobs, was to manage all the affiliations.
And grow the database of board riding clubs. You were extremely successful.
That was just one component of that massive role. But, well, look at Nixie Ryan go. What away for the surfer in pink. She's chasing a 6.71, and I feel like this is going to be a pretty decent number just based off where we came in on that wave.
We need to see a replay and break this down ourselves. She's chasing a 6.71 and she's never out of it. Beautiful opening turn. Great second turn. I'm giving her the score, Britt. I don't know whether that's going to jinx it or not. I'm not sure, but I want to give her the score.
I'm going to give her the best wave of the heat so far. Just even the wave quality in itself. Like, obviously, Nixie Ryan, she's an exceptional surfer, so her quality of surfing is high, but the wave selection and the wave face that she had to work with, I feel like that was the best wave that we've seen come through the lineup.
A determined competitor, and she's, right back in the game. She is in the lead.
There it is, a 7.5 for the surfer in the pink from Lennox Head. I tell you what, Tash, Bugs and Denby, well, they'd be cheering at home because Nixie Ryan has moved into first place in semi-final heat number 2 of the women. It means that the Japanese competitor in the black has now been put on the back foot.
Big time.
6.67 is the requirement for Anun Matsuoka.
Fantastic surfing from Nixie Ryan. Under pressure and found a way, as she always does. And like we said, smiling on the beach all the time, in the water, super focused, super strategic, and absolutely determined. And that's what the result is. She's those two scores, a 7.5 and a 5.3, they've been her last 2 rides, and she's gone from a couple of 3-point rides and in second place and being put to the sword to fighting her way back and taking a healthy lead. I'll tell you what I think, and this is, I'm not being critical of the Japanese surfers, but I feel when they're under pressure, that's where they sometimes suffer. And right now, Matsuoka is under pressure. She's had the lead, she's been in her comfort zone, and all of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, she's gone, hang on, I'm in second place and I need a decent score to try and get that lead back. And I feel sometimes that the Japanese surfers in general haven't coped with these situations that well in the past because we know there's a lot of great surfers there and they haven't, apart from Kanoa Igarashi, who did a lot of time in the US, obviously, they haven't emerged onto the CT like I would have expected. It will change, I'm sure, but that's just a personal observation. Nixie Ryan, on the other hand, she does not buckle under pressure. She lifts her game under pressure, and that's why she's in the lead right now.
She did exactly what she needed to do. She found the wave that she was looking for. And like I said, I feel like in general, the wave quality itself was the best that we've seen roll through the lineup. And Nixie Ryan, she was able to capitalise on that, locking in a 7.5, moving into first place and putting the surfer in the black into second. This is, of course, a 2-person heat, 50-50 progression, meaning that only one person will move on through to that main final of the women's Sisstrevolution Central Coast Pro, and at the moment Nixie Ryan is looking for that spot. It's interesting too because Nixie Ryan, she's locked in a 7.5, but her backup is a 5.33. She's more than capable of getting a higher number than that, and I feel like that's something that Nixie Ryan would be trying to achieve right now to really just make things harder for the competitor in the black, because the surfer in black's only chasing a 6.67 right now.
The fish must be biting.
There's plenty of fishermen out on that
They have to be
rock.
biting. That's the golden spot.
It's
not sure what sort of fish, but they're biting.
There's even like a gazebo out there. They've set up for the day. What a beautiful pulled back shot of Avoca. We are, of course, on the Central Coast. Thanks to Central Coast Council. From headland to hinterland, the New South Wales Central Coast is making waves. And another thank you to one of our supporting rights partners in this local area, Avoca Beach Hotel. Be sure to check out their website, avocabeachhotel.com.au, for all their rates and availability. They offer great surfing accommodation with fully self-contained rooms and plenty of parking. They've also got their saltwater bar and bistro and their Treetops Cafe. They've got a beautiful outdoor deck, patio area.
The rooms are awesome. You feel like you're immersed in nature. So it is a fantastic location. I took a stroll out to the point the other day, and there's some prime real estate out there, Britt. Absolute prime.
If only I had the money to buy it, because it is a beautiful part of the world. And, well, yeah, we saw the big cliff, the headland, the house on the hill.
I know. Anyway, we put our head down, work hard, hope our government gives us some relief on interest rates, and we commit.
There's Nixie Ryan on screen. I just love how we can get the close-up to see all the emotion on the competitors as Nixie just rolls those shoulders and arms back, looking nice and relaxed. She's
under 6 minutes.
One of those competitors, I feel that she hides the nerves well.
She does. She's awesome in these heats. We've seen it again and again. She analyses where she's at. She'll be taking all that information in, and she gets the job done. Matsuoko was super busy at the start of the heat. Now she needs a 6.67. There's not a lot happening for Matsuoko.
This is where it gets dangerous because Nixie Ryan, I feel like with just over 5 minutes on the clock, she's only starting to gain momentum here. Should she move through to the main final, she is going to be dangerous. She'll be up against Zali Kelly if she can get through. But anything can happen in the next 5 minutes as we watch the Destination New South Wales Wave replay. Opened up with a carve and finished strong with the second turn, so we actually missed the live action of the first turn.
This could be a better wave score than the 5.33.
So the surfer in black, Anun Matsuoka, she is going to be searching a higher number because that surfing there from Nixie Ryan, that was certainly better than a 5.33 in my opinion, Robbo.
Yep, I agree. And I feel like Matsuoka has frozen up. I mean, she had priority. She should have been on that wave.
She has dropped anchor in the ocean.
Yes.
And it is interesting, Robbie, you know, she's sitting, waiting patiently with priority, and Nixie Ryan's just locked in a 6.33 under her priority.
Wow. Yep. 7.66 is the ask now. So, yeah, this is intriguing to watch, as this will be too. Kalani Ball. Now, there's a guy who's super focused as well. He's got his eyes on 3,000 points. Forget about the money. It's all about the points.
He is also the defending champ of this event.
It's not about the money.
Got that connection. No, it is not about the money. It's all about the points. The money's just the bonus because Kalani Ball, he's sitting 31st on the rankings at the moment.
Yeah, he knows what he needs to do. He needs to win. Reginato, as I told us, he's gone through a super high performance training program over the last 6 months and has never been in better form as well. So this is going to be an amazing final that's coming up, as will the women's final. And I tell you what, I think the Australians have, I may be going a bit early, but I feel like they've put the Japanese surfers to the sword.
They have. We did have an Australian-Japanese semi-final in semi-final 1 and 2 of the women's. And, well, so far, it's looking like it's going to be the 2 Australian competitors. Unless Anun Matsuoka can get a 7.66.
Here we go.
Wow, Robbo, look at this thing line up.
Nice first turn, but doesn't come together for her. She's capable of getting the 7.66, no doubt about that. She's scored multiple excellent rides throughout WSL events, so she's very capable of getting that score, but it's not going to drop on that one.
That will be a crucial situation in the final stages of this heat. The surfer in black sitting in second place, using her priority.
Yep.
And just unfortunately not able to make the most of what she had handed to her. I felt like she had the opportunity in front of her, Robbo.
Yep. There was potential for 2 massive moves there. It didn't come off for her. Nixie Ryan holding priority. She's right on Anun's case. Good wave comes, Nixie's taking it. It's as simple as that.
So we watched the Destination New South Wales Wave replay. I just felt she could have hit that first section and then went into this one here. So a missed opportunity there for the surfer in black.
Big time. the pressure.
It is. We've been talking of it all event. Who can handle that pressure and not buckle? At the moment, Nixie Ryan, she's proving to show us that she can handle the pressure. She doesn't buckle under that pressure. And, well, I feel like it almost lifts the performance for Nixie Ryan.
Yep, it does. It's a huge contrast.
It takes a lot, too, as a competitor or an athlete in any sport to just, you know, nerves aren't always a bad thing. It's learning how to manage those nerves and use them to your advantage. And Nixie Ryan, she's showing us that she's capable of doing so as we hit the Mad Mex minute. Thanks to Mad Mex, fresh fuel for life. You can grab Life by the Burrito. Be sure to download their app, Mad Mex, for their 2-for-1 burrito deal. Download the app and enter the code SURFING with a capital S to redeem 2-for-1 burritos. Keeping us well fed, but on screen it is a game of cat and mouse between these two competitors.
Yep, Nixie Ryan's right on Enormous Matsuoko's case. And with 25 seconds remaining, why wouldn't you be? You're not going to let this semi-final slip from your grasp.
Nixie Ryan, she is putting on a stellar performance here at the Central Coast. The Sisstrevolution Central Coast Pro QS 3000. With 5 seconds on the clock, we look to conclude semi-final heat number 2 of the women. We have our 2 finalists determined. That'll be Zali Kelly and Nixie Ryan. Great sportsmanship between the 2 competitors in the water. Coming up next, we will have the men's final. Kalani Ball will take on Alistair Reginato. We're going to cut to a short commercial break and join you back here with all the live action.
It's a beautiful day. Huge thanks to Surfing New South Wales for getting out there, not only communicating with people about why it's important to not use single-use plastic, but how easy it can be to transition and stop it and swap it.
We're basically down here to showcase how we are reducing our plastic footprint through all things like keep cups and reusable water bottles and our beautiful toggles which we use instead of cable ties.
We've invested in about 100 water bottles and keep cups. We've distributed to the whole team. You know, everyone's so passionate about this program and so enthusiastic to be a part of it.
We're doing our bit to give surfers a cleaner ocean and save the environment for a better future.
The plastic pollution issue is a complex problem, but it can be solved.
Take 3 for the sea!
Earth a favour and take 3 for the sea?
It's easy. Just take 3 for the sea.
And welcome back, everyone. We are into the final of the men's at the Vissla Central Coast Pro QS 3000 event. We're at beautiful Avoca Beach on a wonderful day. The sun's out, the guns are out, and the 2 best performing surfers in the event have matched up in the final. It is Alistair Reginato taking on Kalani Ball. Welcome back, Steve Robbo, and what a day for this final. It's going to be intriguing.
It has been fantastic up to date, and this final should live up to expectations. So Reginato started off with just a 1-point ride. Here's a replay. Alistair Reginato, the Sunshine Coaster, he's going to go big. We know that.
Yeah, we saw him in the semi-final go to his backhand and produce a massive air, and he comes into this final just in electrifying form along with Kalani Ball. That heat against Joel Vaughan would have given him so much confidence. And like you said, there's so much riding on this result for both these surfers. Kalani Ball a little bit further down the ratings, needs a big result. Alistair Reginato actually comes in ranked 7th, I do believe. So this is going to enhance his position on the ratings. And you said it before, forget about the money. It's all about points.
Yep. No, it is. And yeah, we spoke to Alistair Reginato after his semi-final win. And as we suspected, Adam, he told us, he said, I have put in a mammoth 6 months of off-the-beach training.
Yeah, I've heard his preparation for this year's series has been next level, and that, again, shows the maturity level.
Yep,
that
determination.
Like they want it. They know they're actually good enough to be there, and they fully back themselves, and it's reward for our effort, you know what I mean? Like, he looks stronger.
He does.
I physically feel like for him, the physicality of his surfing is so good, and his all-round attack has just been ultra impressive. Talking about ultra impressive, we have the post-heat interview with the winner from the last semi-final. I listened to it outside the booth, and it sounded like she came home with all guns a-blazing. Well done, Nixie Ryan. Congratulations.
Thanks, guys.
How was that? I felt like the Japanese surfer sort of got off to a strong start, and I felt like you just started to put a lot of pressure on her in the middle stage of that heat. How did that go down for yourself?
Yeah, she did have a strong start. I kind of just got a couple small ones at the start, like found my feet, and I knew I needed to build on my scores because I wasn't going to get through with 4s. So yeah, I just sat down the end of the beach, and she sort of went up a bit more, and I was lucky to find a couple ones that held up.
Nixie, at the halfway stage of that heat, you must have been pretty concerned about your position, but you found a way. Do you always stay positive in your heats, even though you might be in second place? Do you look for the positives, and do you find determination to find a way through?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is what I practice for, like at home and stuff, and just stay positive, and I don't know, just try not to get in that negative mindset, because like anything can happen up until like the last second of the heat. So yeah.
All right, well, Nixie, we're not going to keep you because you've got a final to prepare for. We wish you the best of luck. We love what you're doing and how determined you are. So keep up the good work, and we look forward to watching a great final unfold between two great Australian emerging surfers.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, no, she's absolutely ripping. And do you know what? Looking through the stats of her performances this year, consistency is the key word I look at. She's had 3 wins.
I know, it's amazing. She had a lot of wins last year, but they were all 1,000 QSs.
She's won 2 1,000 QSs and a 3,000 this year, so she's raised the bar. And I think Brett was identifying that earlier, that the fact that you just felt she was on fire last year, but this year she's been able to bring it into the bigger arenas, and that's the most impressive part. I'm pretty sure she's wrapped up the New South Wales Pro Surf Series, the Vissla New South Wales Pro Surf Series, but the fact is she would have felt a little bit disappointed last year, because when you sort of weren't looking at the actual ratings, you felt like she was right up there, but at the end of the year, the points apply, and she just wasn't getting results in the bigger events. But this year, she has turned the table on that for sure, Robbo.
All right, so slow start in this final. Slow start. 1.57, 1.0. Kalani Ball priority. He'll only use it when he feels he's going to get a score. So let's see. Wait what happens in this final. Reginato, as we said, has put in a massive year. I feel like someone said to Alistair Reginato, Alistair, you've got the ability. Yes, you're a great surfer. Mate, you need to go away and get really, really powerful.
Yeah, I feel like the maturity level. Yeah, the maturity level of his performances. There's been so much hype on him, and I think for a while it took a little bit of understanding that pressure of hype, but now he's a machine. Like, he's so focused. Here we go, talking about the Iceman. This man has been on fire. Kalani Ball flying down the line, goes to the air, nice rotation, rides out. He might get a little bit more meat on the bone and kicks off that wave. So it's not going to be a huge score, but it's going to be a nice little, calm the nerves, or a nice little start for Kalani Ball, who again has been one of these guys who has just been a standout of Australian surfing. Hit the Challenger last year, had a bit of a struggle towards the start of the year, but at the end of the year came up with a couple of massive results in Brazil and Hawaii. And look at the way this guy surfs. He's got so much act. He's got so much performance. And what I love about him is the ultimate. He's like Damien Hardman. He's ice cool. Remember they used to call Duma Iceman?
Yeah, he was.
I feel like this is the next generation Iceman.
Similar sort of character for sure. Super focused.
Oh, look at this thing.
Okay, watching Alistair Reginato, but that one just, it closed out on the bank. It didn't offer the opportunity for Alistair. He wanted a big section to smack, but it wasn't there. As always, when we see a good aerial manoeuvre, I'm interested in what it scores, and they've rewarded him for that. That was a big move.
7.5.
I thought in my head, hang on, this could be a big score. 7.5 is an awesome way to start, but a 7.5 in a heat against Reginato is generally not on.
If you go off last semi-final with Joel Vaughan, it would be a throwaway, really.
But big-time throwaway.
I think the dynamics of that air probably put that up. I actually thought it was a little bit going to come in a little bit lower, but a 7.5 is a great way to start for Kalani Ball. And as I said last year, came out of the blocks towards the back end of the year in Brazil with a 5th place on the Challenger, had a 7th in Haleiwa. But I just feel like he's ready to take, like a lot of these guys, Rob, I feel like they're ready to take that next step. And
they need to get onto that next step.
He comes in this, I think, ranked in a 30th, so he needs a big result. He needs a win, and he's the defending champ. So here to identify the fact that he has such a good rapport with this beach, the energy levels. You know, there's so much. You know, you see a lot of surfers will go back to places they've had success, and they repeat that dose again.
Okay, having a good look at this wave, and I think that is our surfer in red. Kalani Ball, look at this wave lining up for him. Smacks a beautiful opening turn, links it together, looking for a big finish, nails it.
Nails it. And you know what I'm loving about the waves right now? It is definitely a lot bigger than yesterday.
It is.
We spoke about it's pulsing. It's probably the best time of the day to have these finals. And Kalani Ball just putting together a string of turns there. A little bit short on the second turn, but I love the rhythm and the flow of this wave. You can see him just shortening that second turn up to put himself into the power source and perfectly timed a final manoeuvre. Steve Robbo, that was nice.
I liked it a lot. Absolutely. And he's off to a flying start. But we see Reginato in this situation consistently. He's languishing in last position or whatever. He's got heaps of time. He will not be phased.
Oh, no.
He won't be phased.
He's cool under pressure, and we've seen it, as you said, like a lot of heats he's had to come from behind and get the job done. And not only is he coming from behind, what's more impressive is the scores he's locking in under pressure. He's getting a lot of scores in the excellent range, and right now he is behind because that last wave of Kalani Ball, a 7.23. So Building House is the defending champ. But again, like you said, there's so much time on the clock. The waves are pumping. Look at it. It is just a beautiful landscape out there. The texture on the waves. And these guys are really raising their performance levels.
I'm going to give you credit, Adam. You said, I think, a 0.2 metre rise in swell today, and that's about what it's been.
Yep.
And it's delivered.
I had a really good look at it yesterday morning and
got the charts out.
Yeah, and I love the. I could feel there was a bit of a bump overnight, and it definitely showed its sort of wears yesterday afternoon. But yeah, it's definitely better than yesterday, and these guys are performing. Here we go, Kalani keeping the ball rolling, as they'd say, up and out. So that is going to be a throwaway. But yeah, perfect kind of texture on the wave too. That's what we've been blessed over the last 4 or 5 days. Very little wind.
Yep.
I hate wind at surf events.
Yeah.
Causes havoc.
I'd like an onshore cool breeze.
Oh, we have been steaming on the East Coast. We've said it before, it has been so hot.
Yeah.
It's the middle of March. Are you kidding me? But yeah, right now we're down to 17.5 minutes to go, and it is the New South Wales surfer Stanmore Park in the lead. 7.5, 7.23. And we've said it before, he's the defending champ, and he is a surfer of power, flow. He's got all the tricks, but when you're up against Alistair Reginato, he knows Kalani. He's got such game, this young guy from the sunny coast. And he won't be phased. He knows he's got a job to do. All he's waiting for, Robbo, is opportunity.
Exactly. And he'll get it.
Big shout out to all our event partners, of course, Vissla, the major sponsor of not only this event, but the New South Wales Pro Surf Series. Of course, our presenting sponsor, Mad Mex, and all our local community sponsors and the New South Wales Government, the Central Coast Council, the Avoca Beach Hotel. We spoke about what an epic place that is to visit. You feel like you're in sort of a rural setting. It's a beautiful landscape, and yeah, great to have them involved, along with the New South Wales Government through Destination New South Wales, bringing this event to town. And it's been like that. It's been like a travelling circus, hasn't it?
It has. It's been like a holiday, except when you're behind the mic.
No, we've been the boomerang, the waves are pumping. We've had such a great run of swell. Even Maroubra this year produced some really good waves, high quality.
And it's just all the beaches are beautiful, all the locations are amazing, and it's been like a holiday.
So right now, 16 to go, remembering that this is such a key final for both these surfers when it comes to qualification. There's one more bite at the cherry, that is at Surfest next week, as we see the surfer a little bit wider. It is Kalani up and riding. Is he too deep? No, he gets into the open face, slams it in that first move, and lovely innovation.
Almost rode out of it. Almost rode out of it.
Just
the first turn was classy as well. I don't think he's going to improve his scoreline. If he had have ridden out of that second manoeuvre, I think he would have increased his scoreline. So good choice of wave, because it did offer up 2 great sections for high-level moves. And Kalani Ball's got that in his wheelhouse.
Yeah, big shout out to Robbo, to the Asian surfers who came over. This is a co-sanctioned event. There was a lot riding on those results for that region as well. I felt like the Japanese women really put, you know, they sent a message out saying they're coming strong on the world tour. And we had multiple surfers from that region make a high ranking in this event. So I'm excited about the future of the Japanese tour. I feel like Kanoe Igarashi has lit the flame and is leading the way. And again, they're going to be dangerous next week at Surfest. And this is a hard thing. This is a really intense heat. But it's been an intense event because of the fact you've had 2 regions basically fighting it out.
Yeah, I know. They
for
come
positions
together.
And spots.
The Australians go over to their locations through the year for a few prime events. They come over here for a few prime events. It's really good. Here we go.
Look at this. How clean are the waves right now? Kalani Board just trying to find an opportunity to better that 7.23 and keep him nice and busy. And that's the thing too, I think the freedom of having no priority right now. You can see it, the 2 athletes. Alistair Regginato knows he needs his next, his next pull, the ripcord, is going to have to be a strong one. And then you have Kalani Ball with that freedom and that space between the 2 surfers. But you'll find, Robbo, that will shorten up as it gets towards the back end of the heat, as we see Alistair exploding. Lovely forehand manoeuvre.
It's going to link up. Watch this.
And that was...
Regginato's coming back.
Yeah. How good is this guy?
He's
Under
the
pressure.
sleeping giant. He was not going to put himself out of this heat.
It's like he's got such the eye of the tiger. He can shut out everything and he just goes about his work. He's such a tradesman when it comes to, performing under pressure. It's like he can just block everything out, and I'd love to see a replay because that's going to be a fight back wave for sure. He's going to break that combination situation, and there's plenty of time on the clock. Here we go, Robbo, take us through this.
Okay, look, bottom turn, snaps it in the pocket with power, nice cutback, and looking for a big finish, goes to the air, high risk, rides out smoothly. This has got to be a good score.
Yep.
Has to be a good score.
And I want you to think about, that 7.5 Kalani for that, basically that one manoeuvre. Where do you throw this in the ballpark? It's got to be right up there towards, either close to the best wave or the best wave. I'm not a judge and I've been wrong before, but I just try to, go back to the best wave of the heat.
Yep.
I think Kalani's
I'm with you. I want to give it a 7.75, but yeah, we don't have the tools of the judging shed, replay, split screens. They compare them and they break them down. So But it's good fun to throw a score in your
It
own
is.
head.
Oh, there's all the boys. Looks like everyone's supporting the two finalists.
We're waiting on that score with a lot of interest. 7. So he scored a 7.
Yep.
It's a decent score. It absolutely puts him in the game.
You can see the boys, Axel Carrotta down there, along with George Pitter and Taki Butler. And see, these guys are actually interested in what's going on out here because there's a rating scenario for those guys at the top of the tree.
They'll be going, we don't want this guy to win because we don't want him on our ratings space. And we know what they're thinking.
So bouncing back with a 7-point ride. We felt like it was going to be in that ballpark, but right now he still needs a 7.75. But such is the skill and the way this guy has been able to produce big scores over the course of this event. Kalani Ball right now is not comfortable. He is quite aware of what Alistair brings to the main stage, and this is going to be an epic final 11 minutes of this final of the Vissla Central Coast Pro. Massive shout out to John Mossop, all the team up at Vissla who have supported this series, Robbo, for 4 years. They have been entrenched in helping Surfing New South Wales develop multiple events, and I feel like Surfing New South Wales is the leader in that kind of, in that formula of producing big events.
They lead it. They lead the charge in Australia. It's great for Australian surfing. There's Zali Kelly getting ready for her final. And yep, the crew from Vissla, we love them. We love what you're doing. We love what you're making. Quality products.
And that young lady on the screen was impressed with her semi-final post-heat interview. She spoke about how she was just over those quarter-final results. She wanted to prove to everyone that she had it, and she knows she's got it. It was just about putting a consistent run of performances in, and she's definitely done that. And she's put herself in a frame to win a pretty big event. I'm pretty sure she said her last win was in 2021 or something. So
in Cabarita or something.
Yeah, so it's been a while for someone of her stature and her skill set. It's great to see her back in the finals, and that's going to give her a lot of confidence going into Surfest next week. Right now, just under 10 to go. We are into the final of the men's, 3,000 points up for grabs. And as it sits right now, we have Kalani Ball in the lead, needing to jump the rankings from 31st, I think he was in, and then you have Alistair right up there towards the top as well. This is going to be a really tight battle as we head towards the back end because the pressure is starting to build. So Alistair Reginato came into this event ranked 7th.
He's going to improve his ranking.
Oh, massively.
First or second, he'll improve his ranking. He wants the win. He will
his
improve
lowest
his
score is 800 points. He's going to get at least maybe 2,300, even if he doesn't win. But he is only going for the win. Both these surfers know what's at stake. And this is where the mind games start to come into play. You'll see them really shorten up the space between the surfer with priority and the second surfer, because I felt like in that semi-final with Nixie Ryan and that Japanese competitor, she actually gave her way too much space and allowed Nixie Ryan to get herself back in the game. So it's a key element to surfing a man-on-man heat in this scenario with the boys. And here we go. It looks like Alistair up and riding in and out.
Priority, but again, Kalani Ball, the Iceman.
He's not going to be sold.
He's not going to be sold. And yeah, a lot of experience sitting in the Surfer in Red's corner at the moment. He holds the lead. He holds priority. He will use it in a smart way.
Yeah,
Could
good
be
waves.
right now.
Yeah, here we go. Surfer in Red, up and riding, flying in this first corner. Nice jam into the pocket, comes around, open up the wingspan again, and goes through the air and just catches an edge. Wow.
So I would say that's not going to improve on his 7.23. It would have if he had pulled that last move off. Yeah, so he knew what he had to do. He wants to get rid of the 7.23. I can't see that doing it. I could have seen it definitely if he
needed
pulled that
to
last
land
move.
that, and I felt like that would have been right up there in the 8-point range.
Priority now with Reginato.
Look at this wave. How beautiful is that wave looking? into that first turn, a little bit short. I love the way he opened up there, but this turn right here, great section for it.
He did the right thing, everything right, but land it. So
I felt like he had to land that in the flats if he was going to get a big, big score.
So now, Reginato, priority, 7.73. Call it a 7.75.
Oh, this is what we love, Robbo.
That's what we want. That's what he wants.
It's exciting for the viewers, a bit intense for the two surfers in the lineup and their pit crews, but
It's not what you want, it's what you need. Alistair, you need a 7.75 or better.
Oh, he'd be backing himself in for sure, just based off his, his earlier heat.
Yeah, he gets those scores all the time. He doesn't need to oversurf, he just needs a wave and he needs to surf it like he loves to surf, and he'll get that score.
I think, Robbo, the key word is opportunity and making sure he identifies exactly the wave he wants, because he knows what he can bring. He's got so many different tricks and different moves in his arsenal. He just needs to be able to have the wave to allow him to attract that kind of score, a 7.73. And as I said, Kalani Ball would be well aware of just how important this heat is for both these surfers, and he'd be trying to sell Alistair on the wave, but Reginato, he's a solid performer. He's not going to be tricked into anything.
Sunshine Coasters will be watching with interest. They'll be on their computers, they'll be on KO, they'll be on 7+, they'll be on worldsurfleague.com.
Oh, they'll be everywhere.
Grant Thomas up there, great man. He'll be backing Alistair in.
Yep, definitely. And all the boys at the North Shore Board Riders Club, Shane Bevo has a lot to do with that club.
Bevo up there now.
100%, mate. Former World Tour surfer, what a legend. And he still is highly involved in that club. When there's a teams event, Bevo will bring him down, and he just loves it. And it's
Did you
great
say
that
North Shore?
Yeah.
What is North Shore on the sunny coast? It's all North Shore to me up there. What is it?
So you're a Victorian.
What's North Shore?
You will
on the
not
sunny
be allowed
coast?
over the border very shortly.
Eyes on the lineup.
Here we go. Kalani up and riding, flying down the line. Big air, and again, just missing the landing strip.
If he lands, he scores.
I'll tell you
back to it. What's North Shore, please?
Well, that's the Board Riders Club up there. But let me tell you.
Maroochydore North, or what is it?
Well, there's Coolum Board Riders.
Yeah.
And there's North Shore a bit further up, and then you've got Noosa.
I'm with you. Okay.
But let me tell you, North Shore has probably been the standout club from up there for quite a while. They won the ABB, as we see Kalani up and riding, but just a little bit loose on the landing there, and I felt like the rotation was not going to, better that 7.23. Had he landed in the flats, I feel like it was. So again, he's just trying to put that little bit of pressure, the visual pressure on Alistair, but Alistair would know exactly what he's looking for. He's got 4 minutes, and we've said it before, for Alistair, it's about making sure that next movement in the ocean is going to be a good one and a positive one for his reaction time. So let's see what happens. 4 minutes to go, and Kalani up in his grill now.
Yep. Intriguing final. It's super important for both surfers. They want the points. Give me the points.
You know what? North Shore Board Riders is one of the most. It's got more time in the water than most clubs in Australia. It's one of the longest serving clubs in Australia.
There you
they
go.
have produced so many good surfers, like I said, and right now they are producing just a production line of world-class juniors. They're strong all around, both their men and their women coming through that club. So strong, and they tap in. And I feel like, with the strength of North Shore over the last couple of years, it's actually raised the level of the other clubs in that region too.
Well, Britt Nickel gave me an interesting statistic earlier.
Oh, she's the queen of stats.
120 board riders clubs in New South Wales.
She was the actual boss of controlling all us nut jobs.
I hope she hasn't inflated the figures, because that's a big number.
No, she's on it.
That's a big number. Yeah. 120 board riders clubs.
Or I'd say 80% of the beaches in New South Wales have a club on it.
Board riders club.
At Manly, we've got two, and it's one beachfront, you know what I mean? So, yeah, she definitely knows the numbers. Britt Nichols. She was a big part of helping develop that system through Surfing New South Wales. And what's great about it, as a person who's run a club for a long period of time, you know,
Eyes on the lineup, Jimmy. Talk us through this. What's happening?
He's going to. He was. I didn't feel like that was. He's just trying to keep that little bit of pressure on Alistair.
Well, the pressure is on Alistair now because we're under 2 minutes.
Yep.
So it might not be the wave that he really wants might not appear, but a wave with opportunity may appear. And if that happens, he's going to go to the air. That's for sure. Because he needs a 7.75. Call it a 7.75. He needs it.
It's never over till it's over.
No, 1.5 minutes. And if the ideal wave doesn't turn up, he's still likely to go big. So, and he can do that. He's got all the tricks there. He's got the fitness, the strength. He's moving in the lineup right now.
I have a feeling something has attracted his attention. Here we go. Alistair up and riding. Good looking wave off the bottom. Lovely connection. First turn, flying down the line. Is he going to go to the air? He certainly is. Can he land it? Can he ride out? No, he cannot. Wow.
That is just fractionally short. If he lands that, he wins.
100%. In the Mad Max minute, I feel
that was it.
Like he knew that was the time, and
he had the
unfortunately, he has buried a rail and come a cropper.
And
but
no fault on him. I mean, seriously, he did everything right. We're going to see a replay of it. It's so fractionally short. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I love the first turn. The setup for that air was just incredible. Power, speed, flow. But unfortunately, it was just that rotation at the end. Caught an edge, threw him over. And I reckon you're right, Robbo. If he got the score. He gets a score.
He got the score. And it was fractionally short. He almost rode out of that thing. He did everything right. And a great final. Both surfers, magnificent, entertaining.
Yeah.
Are you not entertained, Adam?
Oh, mate, that was clutch. And you knew there was something going to happen at the end of that heat.
We called it. He got the wave.
Yeah.
He performed for us and just felt fractionally short. Full credit to Kalani.
Oh, Kalani, back-to-back.
Yeah.
Back-to-back winner of this event, and he's put himself in a strong position. Congratulations to both Kalani Ball and Alistair Reginato. There's your champion, ladies and gentlemen. He'd be so stoked. We're going to throw up to a break. We're going to be back very shortly with the women's final, but it was Kalani Ball taking the win.
There you have it, the winner of the men's Central Coast Pro QS 3000, thanks to Vissla. That is Kalani Ball on screen. He is the defending champ of this event. And this is, of course, finals here. Finals day at Avoca for our final stop of the Vissla New South Wales Pro Surf Series for 2023. And look at that. Look at the sportsmanship. There's two other competitors bringing him up the beach there, Jimmy.
Yeah, I love it. The boys, you get behind each other for sure. And Kalani Ball, back-to-back champion of this event. And that was a hard stopper. I don't know if you caught that last minute, but Alistair Regginato threw everything into that final wave and just came unstuck, and it was the man from New South Wales, Challenger Series surfer, and now looking to re-qualify for that series. And wow, this man is ice cool under pressure, Britt Nicol. Look at the boys congratulating him. You can see George Pitter, Takiwi Butler, Joel Vaughan. Oh, what a performance. That was such an exciting final.
It was. It has been an exciting day of action here. And, well, he took the win, the surfer in the red. That is Kalani Ball. He takes home the 3,000 points as well. And that'll certainly count towards his campaign for that Challenger Series. He was sitting pretty far back on the QS ranking. So those 3,000 points, they're going to make a huge difference for Kalani Ball on screen there. We are into the women's final. We have Zali Kelly up against Nixie Ryan. That's Nixie up and riding. Not able to stick the completion, but plenty of time throughout these finals.
Yeah, exciting women's final coming your way. The Sisstrevolution. We saw Kalani Ball down on the beach getting congratulated by Brent Power, who works for CI. And yeah, strong performance from both Alistair, and that is going to be a real intriguing scenario when it comes to the points. A lot like the women's final here. We've got two surfers fighting for qualification on the Challenger Series. Nixie Ryan came into this event ranked 4th, and we spoke at length about the fact that we felt like 2023 there's been a step up, because she was the champion of the series last year, but she didn't have those big results in the bigger events. This year she's just nailing it.
She is. I feel like she's entered this year with a different frame of mind, and it's certainly paying off for Nixie Ryan. We've been watching her throughout this entire series, but yeah, we just talk about last year, and she had some really good results. She won the series. She won multiple QS 1000s back to back to back, but she still didn't qualify for the Challenger Series, and that was based on the fact that she just couldn't quite get the results that she was chasing in the QS 3000s and 5000s. But this year, different story, Dimmy.
And then you flip it over to the other side. Zali Kelly comes into this as a really solid, campaigner, and we've spoke to her in her post-heat interviews about the fact how disappointed, how much fire it fueled the fact that she kept getting all these quarterfinals, but couldn't sort of break the mold in that scenario. And she's so stoked now that she's broken the mold. She's in the final, and she's a massive chance. She's just been such on point when it comes to her heat strategies during this event, and that's what's been impressive. And it's pretty incredible. She hasn't had a win for a couple of years, and for someone of her stature and her standard, that's a surprise. But it's great to see her in a final again. She holds nothing back, as does this young lady from up at Lennox. And yeah, it's going to be another big battle to see who takes the crown.
Who will take the 3,000 points? Will it be Nixie Ryan or Zali Kelly? We'll know in just over 24 minutes' time. At the moment, Nixie Ryan just locking in a 2.17 and a 1. But yeah, we just talk about Zali Kelly. She was stuck with quarterfinal finishes time and time and time again, and she's finally broke it. She's broke that barrier, and I did ask that question earlier in a post-heat interview, what potentially changed leading into this event, and she didn't really say anything particular other than the fact that
she was over it.
Over it. She was over the quarterfinals.
I love that word. Yeah, no, that's it, 100%. And do you know what? A lot of surfers would think, oh, I've had quarters, that's great. No, she is striving for excellence. As we see, surfer up and riding, just lovely, free-flowing forehand attack. And that's the bar she sets herself. Quarterfinals are a great result, but no, she wants wins. She wants to perform at a higher level. She wants to get herself into the challenges and onto the world stage. Ultimately, these surfers, these athletes are fine-tuned machines, both the men and the women, and they put so much effort into their careers, and that's why there is a reward at the end of it, and that's the ultimate goal, to be on the main stage.
It is, as we watch the Destination New South Wales wave replay. First turn of Nixie, nearly caught there, but she just managed to turn it straight into a bottom to top turn combo.
I think that was Zali, actually. That was her first ride.
It was, you're correct. We'll wait and see whether or not that factors in. I feel like that's going to be the highest number so far, Timmy.
I'll tell you one thing that's impressed me is the fact that the waves, I feel like this morning, have definitely been on the improve, and the performance levels. I love it. It's like they go through the gears. Like, yes, I felt like the performance was strong. Today, there's definitely been a certain intensity to everyone's approach, even on the beach prior to, you know, they've given themselves a little bit more space. They know what's on the line, and, yeah, you can definitely see the cream of the crop rising to the occasion.
The intensity's there. They all know what they've got to either win or win or lose. Sorry, but I tell you what, talk about winners. The defending champions just taking out the win for the Vissla Central Coast Pro QS 3000 Kalani Ball. It's Britt Nicol and Dimmy. Congratulations. How are you feeling?
Yeah, thanks guys. I'm so stoked. Yeah, I was pretty nervous the whole way through that heat with Reggie just needing the 7 at the from halfway through. So I was kind of pretty stressed knowing he could just get that so easily. He's been ripping all event, and yeah, he beat me in the quarters up at Cabba, so it's good to get one back on him.
Talk to me about that last wave. Where were you situated in the lineup? Did you see that wave come for Reggie, and what were you thinking? You would have just been holding your breath.
Yeah, I was paddling straight next to him, just looking at him going, oh no, look at this thing. And yeah, I thought for sure he was going to nail it, but yeah, luckily it went my way, that one. So yeah, no, just big shout out to Reggie. He's been ripping all events, so it's cool to have him in a final.
Mate, I want to talk you through back-to-back wins at this venue. What does this venue mean to you when you have such a solid association with it? You must be so stoked to go back-to-back.
Yeah, it's a cool feeling. I don't really know how to put it into words. It's pretty surreal right now. Like, these events are so hard so to win this event in particular back-to-back's pretty crazy. But yeah, just Avoca in general, it's just a lot like Stanwell Park where I grew up and have lived my whole life. So I feel really comfortable here, and I think the waves are super similar. So yeah, I've had some good luck here, and yeah, I really enjoy coming here.
Well, as much as you've had some good luck, you've also created your own luck, Kalani. You've taken the win. Talking about that and how special the moment is, we know that you were sitting 31st in the QS rankings leading into this event. You've now just put another 3,000 points towards your campaign towards a challenger. What's it going to mean to you now moving into the QS 5000 at Newcastle?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's good to get a win. I'm feeling confident. Yeah, I'll definitely just go into Newcastle with a lot of confidence, and hopefully I can do the same there as I did here and get another win.
Mate, talk about the challenges last year. I felt like, you know, it was a learning curve for you early, but towards the back end in Brazil and in Hawaii, you just started to shine. You must be so excited for the opportunity to basically get yourself back onto that series and have another crack in 2023.
Yeah, I had a bit of trouble with a couple of heats in the start of the challenges last year, and then you kind of lose a bit of confidence after a few early losses, and then kind of just try to reset after whatever event it was and just try and enjoy surfing again. And yeah, it's easy to say, like, just enjoy yourself on all these trips, but you're there and you really want to do well, so you put a lot of pressure on yourself. So I kind of just reset and try to just have a lot of fun on those trips. I'm traveling with all my mates, and it's just a really good time, and I think that just kind of took the pressure off. And once I got to Brazil, I made the quarters there and then a semis at Hawaii, so I'm just going to try and keep rolling with what I was doing last year at the end of last year and just take that into this year.
Mate, I'm sure there's plenty of people out there you'd like to send a shout out to. You've got so many people in this region who love the way you surf. Do you want to send a shout out to anyone at home?
Yeah, I'd just like to say a shout out to Abby, my mum and dad, my brother, all my family and friends watching. Thanks for supporting me, and I really appreciate it. Cheers.
Mate, you are ice cool under pressure. We love the way you surf. Congratulations, buddy. Back to back. It's such an achievement. enjoy your day. I hope you have a few beverages, and we look forward to seeing you at Newey next week. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Appreciate it. Thanks for cheering me on all week.
Thanks. Well, he's so cool. Like, he's just ice. Under pressure, he can just ice it every time. And like you said, he knew how dangerous Alistair Reginato was. And a big shout out to Alistair, because he laid it all on the line. It was such a mature performance from that young man. He came into the series, into this event ranked 7th. We've got a couple of wave replays. I think this is the first wave of the surfer in red. That was Zali Kelly exploding. And I'm pretty sure she's got another wave as we're into that break. But yeah, I love the way he goes about it. I feel like nothing really rattles him. Maybe it does underneath, but when you look at the outside, there's no nervous energy about him. He just has a strategy. He has a way to go about his heats, and he's very successful at it.
And like you said, he obviously found ways last year to kind of reset where he was on the Challenger Series, and he managed to get a few good results before the end of the year. And he did mention that he was just going to continue carrying on what he was doing at the end of last year into this year. And at the moment, it's paying off. You know, he's just taken the win here, taken 3,000 points, and well, he's going to be looking good to jump a fair few spots up that rankings.
Yeah, I feel like he nailed it when he said sometimes you can put too much pressure on yourself, and he had to free himself up. And like, he was a standout. He made a semi at Haleiwa, you know, in the most intense environment, you know, you can basically have. And yeah, I feel like right now he's at the peak of his powers. He'll go into Newcastle ultra confident, winning back-to-back here. But right now it is all about the women's final, the Sisstrevolution final. And Brett, right now it is Zali Kelly with a 7 and a 3 in the lead. The young gun from Lennox Head. I'm sure Tony O'Brien and all the crew up there would be from Labar Board Riders, one of the strongest clubs in Australia, be online supporting their surfer. And when you think of the likes of both Nixie and Mikey Madonna, who have been extraordinarily consistent this year, it's just another, you know, indication of the regions that we have around Australia. We spoke about the Sunshine Coast producing, but what about Lennox? It produces so many good surfers.
It sure does, and there's been so many more as well from that same region. It just seems to be a little hotbed of talent there. They've got good support as well, good crew in the area. But yeah, at the moment, it's Nixie Ryan and Mikey Madonna leading the way from that region.
Yeah, when you think of the likes of Adam Melling, one of the just a contest machine. I love the way Mel went about his business. You got, you know, other surfers that come from that region, but yeah, Stewie Kennedy, the complete opposite. When you think about Stewie and you think about Mel is the ultimate, like, casual kind of cruisy dude. And then you had someone like Stewie Kennedy who would actually use that really fierce competitive nature to his own advantage. He hated losing. He should have been a State of Origin football player. When they had that big fight with Queensland and pulled out the bulldog call or whatever it was, you know, the cattle dog, they were complete opposite surfers, but all came from the one region. And as I said, they produced so many world-class athletes. And Nixie Ryan is the next cab off the rank, as they say. So with 14 minutes to go, she's got her back against the wall right now, but so much time, Britt. And it's about, you know, just trying to keep yourself calm in the moment. Lovely rail work to start this ride off, and just trying to sort of build house, get herself back in the game. She's in a combo, but this wave will definitely break that scenario.
For sure. Zali Kelly, she improved on her lead, so a 5.67 meant that Nixie Ryan in second place required a combination of two scores, 12.67, to move on into the lead. But this is the replay here. Beautiful first turn. It was just unfortunate for Nixie that the wave just started to flatten out a bit. She made the most of the section ahead of her, but I just feel like the first turn was where she did majority of the work on that one there, Dimmy.
Yeah, definitely the bulk of the scoring potential came from that first manoeuvre. Just a really great extension through the body. A 4-point ride, it does. It breaks that scenario. So Zali Kelly out in the lead with a 7. She's actually locked in a 5.67. I'm pretty sure that's the wave she got when we were interviewing the winner of the men, Zali, up and out again. But yeah, so she's backed that up. So It's going to be tricky for Nixie Ryan to get herself back in it, but there's so much time on the clock. She can break it down. She actually, realistically, from a coaching point of view, you'd only be looking at that 12.67. So that's 2 mid-range sixes, right? So that's how you'd break it down. And with so much time on the clock in this WSL QS 3000 final, the Sisstrevolution final, that's how she'll be thinking about it and sort of, translating that into figures in her own mind. Here we go.
This is the current heat leader in the pink. Zali Kelly on a good-looking right-hander. Puts it up over there for the first section. Not able to get around for a second. It looked like that wave was going to have a lot of quality to it, but just ran off so quick down the bank. But Zali Kelly in first place. Nixie Ryan up and riding, sitting in second place, chasing a score. But just a quick up and out there, Dimmy.
Yeah, pretty smart from Nixie there, because what she wanted to do was establish that priority situation. She felt like that wave was not going to offer any scoring potential. And as you said, how beautiful did that wave look when Zali Kelly took off? But a little bit tricky out on that rip bowl. At times, these things will line up and they'll hold up, and other times they'll run off towards the north. So it's about identifying what wave you want, but also making sure that you post, you've got to post some scores when you get the opportunity.
For sure, and I think something with that wave just then, where you could see where she took off, she was a little bit behind where the peak was, so she actually had to work harder, and by then the wave had already kind of run down the bank and she could only get the one turn in. It was a solid turn, but I don't think it's going to go into her top two. Zali Kelly in the pink in first place. She's looking to drop a 5.67 from her scoreline as her small score to increase the requirement for Nixie Ryan in the black, who's looking for an 8.67 in the women's final of the Sisstrevolution Central Coast Pro QS 3000. This is, of course, our final stop of the Vissla New South Wales Pro Surf Series for 2023. It has been amazing to have Vissla and Sister on board again this year. Thanks to Vissla partnering with Surfing New South Wales on the QS events, as they have done for the previous 4 years.
What a partnership it's been too.
Of course, a massive event for men and women. So great to have companies like Vissla on board. And well, the sister brand of Vissla, they are relatively new. They only launched a few years ago. They celebrated their first anniversary during the pandemic and somehow managed to make their way through it. That just goes to show how resilient that brand is, how good the organisational structure is as well.
100%. Like, kudos to that company for, being able to fight through what was a pretty tricky scenario worldwide and come out the other side, and their brand is so strong, environmentally friendly. They've got so much, good vibes about the way they go about producing apparel. Their apparel is next level. We love it. And the fact, from my point of view, as someone who's been involved in the grassroots side of the sport, the fact that they're so driven and so determined to help develop our next generation of surfers, I love it, and couldn't be more prouder to be on the commentary team and a part of this because of the names that we have, our partnerships, Vissla, Sisstrevolution. I just love it, and congratulations to all their team for getting behind a series when it's, been a bit tough when it comes to financial situations around the world.
And I'll tell you what can help you with your financial situation is your 2-for-1 burritos, thanks to our presenting rights partner, Mad Mex. If you scan to that QR code, download their app, insert the surfing promo code with a capital S and redeem that great offer. So you only have to pay the price for one, you get two.
You can go on a date and just think you're ripping.
Cheap
if you're
shout.
a young bloke. Yeah, cheap shout. Here we go, surfer up and riding, in and out. And yeah, last night I had Mad Mex for breakfast, lunch. Well, yes, I had Mad Mex breakfast, lunch, and then I took one home for dinner as well.
Of course
Like the veggie,
you did.
Of course.
Of course you did.
I'm on a cut coast program here.
Keeping us well fed, and well, it's all healthy Mexican food. It is absolutely delicious. Be sure to check out Mad Mex.
Hola.
2-for-1 burritos. You can eat two to yourself. I feel like that's what you did yesterday.
Yep, I did stuff myself, but I just love that food. It's so fresh, and I think, it's the perfect combination for a surfer too. It keeps you nice and fueled up, a lot of energy, but really good ingredient as well, fresh and good for you. I feel like Mexican food overall is probably, the staple for freshness these days.
For sure, and like you were talking before with Vista and Sisstler, really supporting the development of grassroots surfing in, competitive and free surfing levels. And Well, Mad Mex, they're doing similar things in regards to, I guess, supporting athletes, and they've got their Mad Mex Fresh Fuel for Life sponsorship program. It is comprised of a team of junior athletes across surfing, skating and motocross, so they all work together to help achieve their goals. So great to see them also doing amazing things for the development of not only sports in general, but athletes as well as humans.
Yeah, extreme sports, they really get behind, as we see surfer in the black up and riding in Point Wave. Nixie Ryan, again, just not stoked with the waves on the right bank, but there's still plenty of time. She has 7.5 minutes to go. And yeah, you see that ad, you know, in our breaks with Conor O'Leary and all those young crew, and it's so good to have their, you know, supporting the next generation program, and it's important to them. They want to make a difference. They want to make a statement, and to have Mad Mex involved, it's great. And right now we are into the last 7 minutes of this final. Zali Kelly looking for her first win in a number of years. And Nixie Ryan, who's been absolute, just the most consistent athlete on the women's tour this year. I feel like she is still in the game. So Zali is now, you know, shorten that gap. She's put in a little bit more pressure. The visual pressure, Britt, let's talk about that. For surfers, when you get up in the grill, here we go, better looking wave. Oh, what about the strength of that one turn? See, that is gonna, I feel that could be her best ride, just on the strength of that one turn.
I 100% agree with you on that one, Dimmy. That's for sure the best ride there from Nixie Ryan. As we watch the Destination New South Wales wave replay, huge big turn there from Nixie Ryan, and I feel like she's known for that. She's got such a solid approach to bigger sections. She's committed, she puts it up there, and she doesn't hold back. She's been rewarded before for one single big turn.
I felt like the timing of that was just on point. Just how clean she went into that turn. Watch how well timed this turn is. Bang! And she rode out with a lot of speed as well. The judges will lap that up. But yeah, one turn. She's been noted for producing big scores on one turn. And there it is, a 5.83. It is game on with 6 to go. This is what we want to see. An exciting final 5 minutes of this heat. Right now, Zali Kelly's probably thinking, wow, that's impressive.
One turn.
Where did that come from?
Well, a 6.85 is the requirement for Nixie Ryan in the black if she wants to take the win over Zali Kelly in the pink, who is in that lead with a 7 and a 5.67 with just over 5 minutes on the clock. This is going to be an exciting finish for the women's final. Nixie Ryan staying busy. Well, nothing lost, nothing gained. She's in second priority.
Yeah, I don't feel you're going to be able to sell Zali on anything that's not going to fit in that situation. She's such a steely competitor. And the Mad Mex replay, here we go, opens up with a nice turn. Free fell out of the lip into another combination for the surfer in red, and then she backed it up. And then we had the surfer from Lennox Head opening up a lovely slashing turn. This wave just didn't have enough juice for her to really isolate a big score, but I love the flow in her surfing. Then, Britt, it was this one turn. Talk us through it.
One huge turn here for Nixie Ryan. She managed to get a healthy number for just the one solid manoeuvre. So put Nixie Ryan back into the game thanks to that Mad Mex recap. Fresh fuel for life. But Nixie Ryan, a 5.83 for one turn. You could only imagine, had she have gotten 2 turns on that wave, where the number would have went. She's now chasing a 6.85, and well, I feel like Zali Kelly's sitting out there in first with first priority, but not really in a safe position when it comes to Nixie only chasing that number.
Yeah, I feel like she would have identified the fact that a 12.67 was going to get it back in, as we see the surfer in black up and riding, carving away down the line. I don't think that's going to be 6.85. So, yeah, where previously I felt like, you know, you can get caught up in what you need, but she's such a strong, mature performer that I feel like she would have known that if I can get a couple of mid-range sixes, it puts me back in the game. And the fact that she was able to identify just that one section and really execute well puts her back into the frame to win this final. But again, what I love about Zali is the fact that I feel like she's got that eye of the tiger. She's determined. She's been really focused on a big result here because of all those quarterfinals. She wants perfection and she wants the win. 3 to go, Britt.
I feel like Zali Kelly, she's in a position now where she's so close. She's so close to getting that win, and she's fought so hard to break through that quarterfinal barrier.
It's just up on the shelf. She's putting her hands up there to grab that trophy, but she needs to get through the next 3 minutes. And right now you can see Nixie Ryan trying to put a little bit of pressure on her. So the way it works is right now, priority is with Zali, but the fact that Nixie's right there and Zali's keeping her in her sight as well, there is a little bit of mind games, a little trickery going on here right now. And how do you play this out?
Oh, I think Nixie's just going to have to try and sell something to Zali, but she's just going to stay nice and busy. I feel like with the bank the way it is too, there might be a little opportunity for Nixie to not necessarily paddle over towards Zali again. There might be another little section on the bank that she could hit with 2 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, I'm calling if she does actually move towards the north, it would not take long for Zali Kelly to eye that off and go, nah.
Eye of the tiger.
How many times have you seen surfers actually paddle themselves right up and down the beach, trying to sort of make sure, well, one's trying to get away, it's the cat and the mouse. One's trying to get away, one's trying to make sure they don't give them any space, and that's the intriguing part of priority. It's not like the old days where it was battle, 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 hassle, hassle, hassle. There's such a skill set to using your priority with a positive manner and to your advantage.
And it really is just such a frustrating situation if you're the competitor on the receiving end of
You're just screaming, come on.
Like, just give me some room. Go away. I don't want you chasing me anymore.
Yep.
But yeah, at the moment it is Zali Kelly with a stranglehold on the women's final. Can she hold on for just over 1 more minute? Women's final, the Sisstrevolution Central Coast Pro QS 3000 presented by Mad Mex. And we are into the Mad Mex minute.
Oh, lunch is coming up very shortly. But will there be a buzzer beater? We've seen it. We saw it in the men's final. Alistair Reginato had an opportunity, couldn't land the aerial manoeuvre. And will there be another storyline to play out?
Either way, this is a big story in itself. Zali Kelly, if she can take the win here, this is going to do huge things, not only for her on the rankings, but for her confidence levels leading into a QS 5000. She's talked about the fact that she hasn't made it through a quarterfinal in a number of events. I think it was 7 or 9 events that she'd had quarterfinal finishes. So she finally broke the barrier here. She won her semi-final. She's now into the women's final. At the moment, she's looking to take the win, Dimmy.
100%, and she is going to block on this one with 12 seconds to go. She'll look back and go, come on, Huey, go flat, because she has been in the lead for the whole heat. Will there be an opportunity for Nixie Ryan? I do not think so. And Zali Kelly, there it is, ladies and gentlemen, we have a champion, and it is Zali Kelly. Just such a proven performer. She's been on fire in this event, and she has taken out the final. She'll be absolutely just wrapped with that performance. Britt Nicol.
What a huge moment here for Zali Kelly. She takes the win over Nixie Ryan. Still an epic performance from the Lennox head surfer in Nixie Ryan, but it was this woman here on screen, or previous to that, Zali Kelly taking the win and finally breaking that barrier. Big things to come from Zali Kelly. Be sure to keep an eye on that name. She was sitting 14th leading into this event. I feel like she's going to jump a fair few spots now, taking home 3,000 points.
She's going to be inside that top 10 now with an opportunity to get the job done at Newcastle at Surfest. But what I love about her performance is, yes, she was not happy with all those quarterfinals. She looks for perfection, and she's put a perfect run through this event. She is your champion, and like I said, it is such a great way for her to move into Newcastle with a lot of confidence. Take a bow, this young lady from Lennox Head. She is a star of the future, consolidating her position. In fact, I think she might even go up in the ratings. She is inside the bubble at this stage, so much to play out. But what a final. That Mayhem board looks so switched on, and Zali Kelly came out of the blocks firing, and a job well done, Britt Nicol.
Massive job done there for Zali Kelly as we take the camera down the beach. We're going to follow her as she gets chaired up the sand. You can just see the sportsmanship in these two competitors, both women hugging it out. Congratulations to both competitors. What an amazing performance, not just in the final, but throughout this entire event here at Avoca Beach for our final stop of the Vissla New South Wales Pro Surf Series. This was, of course, the Sisstrevolution Central Coast Pro for these women. Massive points, a fair bit of money going into their pockets as well. Big thanks to the webcast and also our partners of the event.
Oh, this is a tradition that plays out all around the world.
And look at that,
Jam.
Nixie Ryan.
Oh, how good's that, Nixie?
That is a special moment right there, Dimmy. That just goes to show the character in that competitor, Nixie Ryan.
Yeah, well, she'd be disappointed. She's stoked for Zali, and it's, you know, sportsmanship to a T right there. Zali Kelly getting the job done, and let me tell you, both these surfers have a big future in our sport, and congratulations. It is going to be a big celebration and one of note when it comes to the scenario on the ratings for the women. And what an event. The Sisstrevolution final, the Vissla Central Coast Pro final, Kalani Bohr and Zali Kelly. They are your champions for 2023.
That is your winner on screen there. She is all smiles as she makes her way up to the beach. Zali Kelly getting the win.
And I'm pretty sure Nixie Ryan would have wrapped up the back-to-back New South Wales Pro Series title.
That 30 minutes felt like 10 minutes.
You can hear her talking about how quick that time goes. I bet you that last 2 minutes didn't go that too quick.
8 grand richer.
So what a beautiful day. Thank you very much to everyone in the Avoca community for getting behind this event. It's been magical. Thanks to all our sponsors. And let me tell you right now, she would be so stoked, but also she'd have one eye on that final event in the series. And I think the way it's going to play out, Britt Nicol, for both the men and the women, I'm not going anywhere. I'm having a week off. I'm just going to sit back and watch Newey and just get so excited. I'm a freak when it comes to, you know, the stats of our sport. I love it, the scenarios. And what more, as it starts to intensify, you can feel it. The energy changes. There's a shift in the way the energy is. And all these surfers are just so in tune with trying to get themselves to where they want to be. And that is ultimately on the Challenger Series.
It is. That is the goal. Zali Kelly. He looks itchy with the sea lice. She's actually opted for the wetsuit. Not many competitors wore a wetty this week here at Avoca. Had plenty of sea lice to contend with.
The ocean has been alive, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you. There's the chemist at Avoca in that little shopping mall has done an absolute belter trade in the last week. They've had to bring a semi-trailer load of ointments down to help these competitors, because I've heard there's some people have been getting absolutely hammered by the sea lice out there. And it's just been really strange to have such, you know, a hot weather system come through this area at this time of year. It's the middle of March, and like at night it's been like 30 degrees. It's been absolutely baffling, really.
It has been, as we watch Nixie Ryan make her way off the beach. Still an amazing performance from that competitor, just showing so much consistency throughout this series this year. Finished in second place. She was already sitting in fourth on the QS series ranking. So I feel like with a fair few of the competitors bowing out around her, she's put herself in a solid position leading into the last QS of the year, or of this season, 2023. Nixie will make her way home, reset, re-energise for Newcastle. But a big thanks to our partners for this event, series naming rights partner Vissla, naming rights partners Vissla and Sisstrevolution, as well as Mad Mex, Central Coast Council, Avoca Beach Hotel, Destination New South Wales, World Surf League and Surfing New South Wales. But the person we want to talk to is down there ready to go. A massive congratulations to Zali Kelly. You must feel happy finally taking another win.
Yeah, I'm psyched. It kind of like, that 30 minutes felt like 10 minutes. It like just happened so quick. I didn't even know what was happening.
Talk us through the process. You got a couple of really nice waves early, and I felt like you just held your nerve towards the back end. I mean, it's a massive event for you, let's be honest. That 3,000 points going to put you in the top 10, and now you're going to have to go back to the grind of going to Newey and then back into it again. But you must be so excited because it's all about opportunities, Ali.
Yeah, for sure. This definitely gave me a good boost for the rankings, and I need to back it up and get another big result at Newey, but I'm ready for it, and yeah, hopefully I can do that and get into that top 4.
What I love about your post-lead interview early in the event, you're not happy with quarters. It just shows you how driven and how you look for perfection and your steely sort of will to win. And you know what I mean? You want to be on that challenger. You want to have the opportunity to then have your ability to go and have a crack and maybe get on that world stage. That's been your goal for a long time as a competitor. How do you feel now?
Oh, I feel good. I'm really happy to finally get a win. It's been almost 4 years since I've got first, so that's just a big thing for me. And then it would be even better if I can back it up and get back up on the challenger, because last year doing that was just such a fun experience and it was a great learning experience for me. So I feel like I'm more ready this year. So I hope that I can get on there.
You are looking a lot more mature in your approach. You've obviously learned a lot over that year and over the years. But can you just give me some insight? I can see on your board you've got keep it simple next to your sticker, but what's the other little sentence there say? Is this a bit of motivation for when you're in the heats?
It just says bend my knees, because I often can be a bit of a Bambi and straighten my legs.
You've got good eyes.
So just a little reminder.
That's such a good thing for a grommet, I reckon, just to keep that focus and keep refocusing on what you want to do, and it's a great reminder. So, but we are so stoked for you. It's been a long journey. I feel like you're ready to have that next level in your surfing. You've been a standout coming through the juniors and into the QS, and we're so stoked for your win, and we wish you all the best, and we'll be all watching at Newey, because I feel like you're peaking at the right time, Zali.
Thank you so much.
Wow, what a performer. She is such a great champion, and like you can just see it. Just even then, I feel like she's got one eye on the win, and then she's already thinking about next week, thinking I've got to get yourself back into the grind and just focus in and keep the ball rolling.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like she's going to gain a lot of momentum, a lot of confidence moving into that QS 5000. And there we are on screen. Thanks to everyone for tuning on in. It's been great to be talking through all the action here at Avoca for the Central Coast Pro QS 3000 presented by Mad Mex. And a big thank you also to Vissla and Sisstrevolution, as well as our other supporting rights partners. But I just think throughout the week, You've talked about it the entire way through. The intensity has just continuously built all the way through to finals day, and it was really today where everything just started to really heat up.
Yeah, there was a different level today for sure, and overall this series has just been so intriguing to watch. It's been wonderful. The waves in a regional format has been exceptional. The surfing has been on point, and like I said, Kalani Bohr and Zali Kelly getting the job done today. It's been such an enjoyable to be a part of the commentary team, and to watch this next generation do their thing. It's inspiring.
It is. Thanks for tuning in. We'll leave you with a highlights package, and we'll see you at the next event. I didn't know if we had a highlights package.